cloudy. I'm just hoping for no rain around 6 o'clock when I leave here because the traffic is bad enough, between here and South Kendall, up here at Fort Lauderdale. Between Fort Lauderdale and South Kendall, the traffic is bad enough when it's not pouring rain. Going to have a very fun show today here in the 3 o'clock hour around 3:30 p.m. We're going to welcome in Alan Pupar from Sports Illustrated. He covers the Miami Dolphins. He's also the NHL.com Florida correspondent, so we're going to talk some Panthers with him as well. In the 4 o'clock hour, 4:22, we're going to talk with Alphonse Sidney, Alf from Hangover Time on Miami Heat Beat. We are going to talk with Javier Molina, professional boxer, in the 5 o'clock hour. So it's going to be a loaded show today. You heard some Florida Panthers highlights coming in. The Cats get it done last night, 5-1 against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Stress-free. I love that. I love the fact that we didn't have to, get to the final seconds looking for Frank Vetrano to score a game-winning goal or go into overtime the way that the Panthers often do. Stress-free, 5-1 victory at home against a team in Columbus that the Panthers are clearly better than, so they should have won that game, and they took care of business. But what made that game so magical last night and why that was appointment viewing for me yesterday, as soon as I found out who the starting goalie was going to be, Spencer Knight. How about young Spencer Knight, my friends? This guy, 2 nights ago, was celebrating his 20th birthday. And then 24 hours later, he's getting his first NHL start, and he stops 33 shots out of 34 attempts in his first NHL start, and he gets the victory. In the process, Spencer Knight becomes the youngest Panthers goalie to ever earn a win. Previously, it was our friend Roberto Luongo, who got his first victory in the Panthers net at 21 years old. Spencer Knight gets it done at 20. Hallelujah. I really enjoyed watching that. And Sam Bennett, I was rewatching the game this morning, and Sam Bennett is the best thing since sliced bread. He's come over here ever since the Panthers acquired him. The guy can't stop scoring. He can't stop assisting. He has been an absolute monster on the score sheet, and that second line has been completely out of control. And listen, you've got 9 games left in the regular season now. The Panthers are still tied in points atop the division. A couple of weeks ago, over the last couple of weeks when the Panthers, they suffered a couple of tough losses to Carolina, and it looked like the Panthers were on a bit of a cold streak, and they had the injuries starting to surface. Aaron Ekblad has been out with a very long-term injury. The Panthers had to play some games without Barkov. They had to play some games without Duclair, have had to play some games without Hornquist. And the Panthers got a little stagnant, and I was starting to think, you know what, we might just be destined to be third place in the division. You're going to get into the postseason. Then, unfortunately, in the first round, you're going to have a very tough matchup against either Tampa Bay or Carolina. Whichever one of those teams came in second place in the Central, you would have to face in the first round. But and it still might play out that way, don't get me wrong, because it's really competitive at the top. But the Panthers have shown me in these last couple of weeks, especially the 2 games that they had against the Tampa Bay Lightning where they got a regulation victory and an overtime victory. The Panthers have shown me that they are going to compete for the division title and perhaps even the President's Cup, which you get if you have the most points in the entire league. They're going to be competing for the top of the division and the top of the National Hockey League until the very final game day of the regular season, and I love it. I'll be happy if they just get into the playoffs, and they are getting into the playoffs, by the way. So I'm going to be satisfied with that after, a lot of tough years as a Florida Panthers fan. But if they can actually make a statement by winning this very top-heavy but very competitive at the top Central Division, it's going to be party time in the Donno household. Speaking of party time, it was party time in the Benash household last night. Tito sent me a photo of the wine, the Vino Rosso, that he was drinking yesterday. And
I haven't cracked that thing open yet, Don.
Oh, you haven't opened it yet?
I'm saving that for a special occasion, my friend.
So you have. I didn't realize you didn't bust it open. So Tito, for those who haven't seen it, he tweeted it out. He texted it to me yesterday. I retweeted it with a snarky comment, of course, because I'm not just going to let this slide. Tito Benach has in his possession a bottle of wine from the Mario Chalmers label. What I don't know what Mario Chalmers, who of course is Tito's favorite NBA player of all time.
Guy's a savant.
Mario Chalmers has a wine label, dude. Like, and I know you're a big Mario Chalmers fan, but I hope you didn't pay more than $3.99 for that bottle.
You know, Donno, there's no real price on, elegance. And,
How much did you pay for it?
A good amount, Donno. We'll leave it at that, all right? We'll leave it a pretty penny, okay? We'll put it at that.
Mario Chalmers.
But it's a delicious wine. I can't wait to have it. I'm going to save it for a special occasion. Don't know what yet, but an ode to the great one, Chalmers. The wine has legend written all over it. I can feel it when I grab the bottle. It feels like, one that's going to age fantastic.
Dude, it's like just when I think I actually love capitalism, I see that Mario Chalmers is selling wine, and it makes me wish we were in the Soviet Union. Like, it's making me wish.
Comrade.
It's making me wish the USSR had won the Cold War, because I guarantee you that if we were all communists right now, Mario Chalmers would not have his own wine. I mean, it's absolutely shameless for Mario Chalmers to have a wine label. It's like, dude, I'm thinking about some of my favorite athletes. Like I love Dan Marino, but if Dan Marino put out a wine label, I'm not gonna like automatically say, oh God, I've got to drink Dan Marino's wine. I can't even remember. I don't know how long that this has been available. Probably at least the last 10, 15 years. But the first time that somebody told me that, famed director who directed The Godfather and a number of other movies, Apocalypse Now, Francis Ford Coppola, he's got a wine label. It took me a long time before I was willing to try it. And I came to find out, though, that, like, Francis Ford Coppola, he was not just cashing in, like, on the fact that, oh, everybody knows I directed The Godfather. No, he wasn't just cashing in on that. This guy actually, like, he lives out in Napa. He's got the whole vineyard, and he's put in a lot of work into it, and he's got great people. So eventually, I caved in and tried the Francis Ford Coppola label, and it's pretty good, okay? Like, because he actually really cares about the wine, and he understands the grapes, and he puts a lot of work in. This is not just some director trying to cash in on his fame. Like, he actually has a passion for the wine. And, Californian wine is not necessarily my favorite. It's always my second or third choice at best after Italian and French wines, but Coppola does a pretty good job. Tito, where do the grapes come from for Mario Chalmers wine? Does he buy like some Welch's juice boxes?
That's a great question.
He buys some Welch's juice boxes and just kind of lets them sit in a cask for a couple of years?
Donna, I was so starstruck yesterday. I didn't even get a chance to look up where those grapes come from.
Like Ocala, Florida or something.
But, Donna, well, you got to be honest here, man. I mean, you're at least a little intrigued about the idea of the Chalmers wine, right?
I would try. I mean, I wouldn't buy a bottle.
It's a classic blend from the Columbia Valley in Washington. So it's coming from the West Coast.
Okay.
Reliable. Look, the guy's a winner on every level. What makes you think he's not going to win in the wine game? What makes you think that?
I mean, I feel like there's going to be a lot of turnovers in his wine. Like I don't. There would be some clutch buckets.
It's a New World nod at the classic wines of Bordeaux, using 40% Merlot.
I do like a Bordeaux.
40% Merlot, 40% Cabernet Franc, and 20% Syrah. Look at that. Some Syrah. I mean, this guy is a connoisseur.
Mario Chalmers wine. Who's like what's the most ridiculous wine you would try? Like, I was thinking about some of my favorite athletes. I'm a big fan of former UFC fighter Nick Diaz. I wouldn't automatically buy his wine label. However, Diaz is a connoisseur of the green stuff. You know what I'm talking about. And he actually has his own strain of it. So that might be interesting because he knows about that. Like, he has a lot of expertise in that because he's very public about smoking the ganja, as the kids used to say in like 1989.
I mean, Nate Diaz does as he wants, right? You know, like, he tested positive for steroids. His response was, "No, you're on steroids." So, the guy is just an absolute enigma, you know.
Oh my God! If you want to get in, the text line is always open, my friends. 844-416-8123 is the number. That's 844-416-8123. Is the YouTube stream open? I haven't logged on.
It is.
Yet. Nice. So I'll
We
log
got
on.
Tremolio in there. He's trolling it up per usual. I'm kidding.
Tremolio?
No, I'm kidding. He's actually talking about different wines and different products. Ray Grion is in there. Herman Cueva.
Love these guys.
Good group so far. Just started out.
Nice. Excellent. So I'm going to be logging on there during the first commercial break and cutting it up with you guys. There was a lot of material that came out from Chris Greer addressing the media today. We're going to talk more about that and about the Dolphins and about the draft with Alan Poupart from Sports Illustrated at around 3:30. We can also talk Panthers with Alan because he covers the Cats as well for NHL.com. He's a very well-rounded sports writer. And we're going to have some sound from Greer a little bit later on. But Chris Greer said today, among other things, on the possibility of trading down, right? Because you had the Ian Rappaport report this week that the Dolphins are getting offers for the number 6 pick, and he said, we'll always listen to everything. We'll show that. You owe it to your team to always listen to offers that may or may not come, Chris Greer said on the possibility of another trade. Let me translate that. It means absolutely nothing. So I know that there are people freaking out. Like our guy Toast a couple of days ago was freaking out on Toasted Sports in the morning that, oh my God, are the Dolphins going to trade down after they worked so hard to move back up to number 6 and they're in position to get all these playmakers? I'm not expecting a trade down, my friends, and unless there's a team that's really desperate in wanting to get up to that 6th spot and they're willing to give the Dolphins the Godfather offer that, will make you an offer you can't refuse, that sort of thing. But, yeah, of course you're going to get offers for that pick. I'm sure there are a lot of teams in the top 10 who are getting offers from teams that are interested in moving up. And what did Chris Greer actually say there? You owe it to your team to always listen to offers that may or may not come. Not giving any hint to whatsoever if he's interested in moving down. All he's saying is, God, it's my job to do my due diligence, right? It's my job to listen to everything. It's my job to filter out every offer or non-offer that comes in to make the best possible decision for this football team. So, spoken like a true GM, because you want to make sure that every team in the league thinks, oh, it's a little bit unpredictable what the Dolphins might do, right? You want every team to wonder and to doubt what your strategy is going to be. You want every team to be thinking about, oh, I wonder what the Dolphins do. Are they for sure staying at number 6? Could they move down? If they stay at 6, are they going to draft Pitts if he's there? Do they go wide receiver? Do they go Penei Sewell if he's on the board? Please, God, no. So, yeah, listen, I thought that Chris Greer handled that question fine, and the translation is a smokescreen. 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Miami Heat have a matchup with the San Antonio Spurs tonight. I also want to talk a little bit more Florida Panthers on the other side because we have the roundtable question to get into, my friends, and it concerns the excellent performance from your young rookie goalie yesterday. Keep it locked right here to Man of the Match on Onside Radio. This is the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. We are OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Listen to OnsideRadio.com anywhere by downloading the MyTuner Radio app in your app store. Or go to MyTunerRadio.com on your web browser. OnsideRadio.com. South Florida sports leader. When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. At OnsideRadio.com, we chirp all day and night. It's time to do some more chirping with David Dwork at our Chirping the Cats report.
The Panthers wrapped up a 2-game set with the Columbus Blue Jackets last night, dominating their visitors from the north during a 5-1 win. 20-year-old goaltender Spencer Knight turned aside 33 shots to become the first ever Panthers goalie to capture a victory in his NHL debut. Newcomer Sam Bennett remained red hot, notching a pair of goals to give him 5 points over his first 3 games with the Cats. Bennett has looked great on a line with Jonathan Huberdeau and Anthony Duclair, and all three have been reaping the benefits on the score sheet. After picking up wins over Columbus on consecutive nights, Florida has the day off today before getting right back at it on Thursday when they kick off a huge two-game set against the Carolina Hurricanes at BB&T Center. Florida and Carolina are currently tied atop the Central Division standings with 65 points apiece, but the Hurricanes have 2 games in hand on the Panthers. If Florida wants to keep pace in the race for a division crown, these games will be crucially important.
Keep up with the latest on the Florida Panthers by subscribing on most platforms by searching Onside Radio, your home for South Florida sports.
Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
This Saturday, Inter Miami CF visits the Philadelphia Union at Subaru Park.
And now Higuain trying to bend his run in behind. Flag is temporarily stayed down. Higuain is in at the square with Robinson. No square. Robbie Robinson has opened the scoring. The flag is stayed down. And Inter Miami are off and running in 2021. They lead the LA Galaxy by a goal to nil.
Join OnSideRadio.com as we broadcast live from Dangerous Minds Brewing Company in Pompano. Our pregame broadcast watch party starts at 7 p.m. Game time is 8 p.m. Listen to all the games by going to our website at OnSideRadio.com and download any of our apps. Follow Inter Miami CF all year long on your home for football. OnSideRadio.com. You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
With Make-A-Wish, the impossible becomes possible. A girl battling cancer can become a race car driver battling the course. The boy showing all the nurses his fire trucks can take the helm of a real one. Wishes can give kids with critical illnesses the strength to keep fighting, get better, and grow up.
Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Wishes need you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, so a huge welcome on the YouTube chat to Herman Tremolio, NorCal Dolphin, Ray are all aboard. Make sure, guys, when you get aboard with us here on the YouTube stream, just go to YouTube, search Onside Radio, hit the Watch Live button. Also, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Try to get that subscriber count way, way up. And once you're in there watching and chatting with us live, make sure you smash the like button, hit the thumbs up button. The more likes we get, the more the algorithm pumps us out to other people and more people learn about Onside Radio. The next couple weeks are going to be a lot of fun as far as remotes around town. You know, we have the Dangerous Minds Brewing Company remote for the Inter Miami CF road game this week. We're going to be out there for every road game. So Saturday at 7 p.m., Big O and I are going to go live at 7 for the Inter Miami CF road game, the pregame show. We're going to be, of course, watching the entire game there because we have the halftime show from out there as well. We've got the hour-long post-game show from out there. So make sure everybody comes out and hangs out with us, eats some of the pizza there, drinks some of the beer at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company. And then next week on Thursday and Friday night for the NFL Draft, round 1 on Thursday night and then rounds 2 and 3 on Friday night, O and I will be broadcasting live at Sports Grill on Bird Road for our draft party. While, the other so-called stations are doing like a Zoom conference for their draft party, we're actually going to be out in the community. So we're going to be having a lot of fun with you guys out there. I read something very interesting this morning, and I'm going to try not to get too excited because transfer rumors go crazy in the soccer world, okay? But soccer reporter Zach Lowy tweeted out earlier today, and this is secondhand information he's passing out, but his account is the one that I saw it from. According to Christian Martin, who I believe is an Argentinian broadcaster, according to Christian Martin, Lionel Messi is set to renew his contract until 2023 at Barcelona. Going on to say the likely arrival of Sergio Aguero, so Tito's guy from Man City, is probably going to go to Barca on a free transfer. So Sergio Aguero arriving in Barca is going to help convince his compatriot Messi to remain at his boyhood club. But the last sentence of this report is key, okay? This is what got my feelers up. He also points out Inter Miami as a potential destination for Messi in 1 to 2 years after he plays a little bit under that extension. So, Tito, that would be a W for me on a couple of different levels. Obviously, if Messi were to ever arrive at Inter Miami, that would be a huge W for Major League Soccer to have that guy in their league. It would be a huge W for Inter Miami, big W for Beckham, big W for all the fans, including me. But it would also be a gigantic dub for me, Tito, because have you noticed that over the last several years, I have gone out of my way because I just can't control myself. I have slandered Cristiano Ronaldo a lot, okay? And there have always been reports that, hey, maybe, Ronaldo's final club or one of the last stops in his career could be Major League Soccer and it could be Inter Miami. So if it was going to be Messi instead of Ronaldo, you're more than likely not getting both. I mean, maybe some people can dream, but, clearly Major League Soccer doesn't want us to have too many stars down here anyway, with the way that they have this witch hunt going on for our 4DP situation, allegedly. So I'm not expecting both Messi and Ronaldo. But, Tito, this is so important. If Inter Miami can secure Messi in 1 to 2 years, that likely means no Cristiano, because if Cristiano were to come to Inter Miami, I'm basically going to have to delete half of my tweets because there's a big
you're going to have to scrub it all.
There's a huge paper trail of Donno slander against Cristiano.
And there's already an established relationship. Messi was in the video during Inter Miami's announcement, and he made a joke about, hey, maybe I might come play for you guys in a couple years. So, look, I'm not saying the tea leaves are there, but I'm not saying the tea leaves aren't there, right? Like, it's a trend that the European stars, they come to the MLS once they're done with Barcelona or whatever club that they're with currently.
Sure.
And Barcelona is SOL, right? Like they are up crap creek for the immediate future just because they have so many issues that they need to address, both roster-wise, both financially, just the future of the club, what direction are they headed in. And the idea that Messi's going to ink up with them for another 2 years is perplexing.
That already sounds scandalous because, okay, so the Super League has fallen flat. That would have been a ton of money for Barca and the other clubs. So that's done, okay? So theoretically, they still have the same financial troubles they had before the Super League was announced. But now you're talking about giving Messi a gigantic extension, and you're talking about adding Sergio Aguero. And I don't want to hear people say, oh, well, it's a free transfer. There's no transfer fee. Sergio Aguero makes astronomical wages. So there's still...
This is true.
It would be... The wages would be gigantic. You have to pay agent fees to his agent. So I thought Barcelona was in all this financial trouble, and yet still they apparently have the funds not only to re-sign Messi, but also to bring in the very high wages of Sergio Aguero. So listen, man.
But, I mean,
UEFA's a joke.
Even in that report, though, Donno, the idea that Messi's going to sign 1 to 2 more years... That means, hey, I'm not in this for the long haul much longer, right? Like
no,
that.
I mean, he's I think
that means
33,
I'm coming.
34 years old.
Yeah, that means I'm coming to an end of my road here with you guys.
Yeah, 100%.
And look, it makes total sense for Inter Miami, right? Like this is the market where he can appeal to the entire city. He's not going to go to LA where he has to battle with a different LA team. He's not going to go to New York where, the other, more traditional domestic sports team take precedence. In Miami, he has an opportunity with this club to be one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the city and also be able to improve upon his brand and marketing. I think it's more likely than people think.
So Tito, if Messi were to come to Inter Miami, he surpassed. Now, obviously, he's not spending the prime of his career here if he were to get here. But you realize, you look at some of the other big stars to play in this town. Dan Marino pales in comparison to Messi. LeBron James would be the closest thing. Like LeBron, I think sometimes people don't even give credit to how big of a star LeBron is because we kind of assume, oh, well, you know what, soccer is such a bigger worldwide sport than basketball. Soccer is, of course, the biggest sport on planet Earth. But I think people underestimate that basketball has gotten gigantic. Basketball is very popular in Europe. I've got family in Italy, and they actually watch the NBA. It's crazy. Like you know, obviously a lot of the games are at really shitty times for them to watch TV, but they'll watch like the Sunday day games. They'll watch some replays on TV over there.
You're saying LeBron has like an international appeal as well,
Absolutely.
right?
Like so LeBron would be the closest thing that, you know, United States sports would have to Messi, and yet LBJ still pales in comparison to Lionel Messi. Dwayne Wade, I love him, but he's not Messi. Like, Messi would become the biggest star to ever play in South Florida.
Not even a question.
Not even close. Oh, my God. I hope I'm speaking it into existence. I hope I am. I got so excited by that Zach Lowy tweet that I'm now trying to do some voodoo to speak this thing into existence, man. I would love to have Lionel Messi in a year or two here at Inter Miami. Can you imagine him playing in this stadium? God, you know, and Tito, like, can you imagine like Messi rolling into Graziano's, like to buy some?
Oh man, that'd
buy
be
some
awesome.
Argentinian
I live
steak?
right by there, so
Oh,
yes.
you do? That would be awesome. Miami Heat taking on the Houston. Taking on who do we have tonight? The San Antonio Spurs. Miami Heat taking on the San Antonio Spurs tonight. Any update, Tito, about Victor Oladipo? Are we ever
Nope.
going to see him again?
Nothing.
Is he dead?
I don't think he's dead. I think
Okay.
he's just, in a cryo chamber right now. I do have an interesting update, though, Dono. The
What's that?
NFL is relaxing its jersey number regulations.
Which is the stupidest thing in the
It's
world.
always been. I've never understood why that was a thing. But running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends will now be allowed 1 to 49 or 80 to 89.
Wow.
Defensive backs will be allowed 1 through 49. Linebackers will be allowed 1 through 59 and 90 to 99. So, yeah. So, if you think about it, if the Dolphins were to draft Jamar Chase or Devonta Smith, right, both those guys wore single-digit numbers with the Dolphins. They could potentially get those numbers. Well, I think Jamar wore 1.
Yes,
I don't think
he wore
can do
1
that.
for sure.
Yeah, I don't think you can't do that here, Jamar. All right? Got somebody in line who already has that number. A little more important than you.
Well, we'll see. I mean, he might. If the national media is right about the guy who wears number 1 here, maybe Jamar Chase will become.
Maybe Jamar Chase outlasts too. That would be a terrible scenario. But yeah,
it'd be awful.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm glad they're relaxing the jersey rules, which are so ridiculous and archaic. There should only ever be one jersey rule. You can't have 2 players with the same number.
Right,
That
yeah.
should be the only rule.
And even in college football, the stipulation is they just can't be on the field at the same time.
Yeah, because in college football, like people think, oh, it's like a 75-man roster, but when you include walk-ons,
It's like
and stuff,
89.
Yeah, it ends up being almost 100
It's
guys.
almost impossible
so,
not to have double
Yeah,
numbers.
you're going to have some, like it's inevitable in college, you're going to have some repeating numbers. So like you said, you may have a guy on defense, wearing the same number as a guy on offense as long as they're not on the field at the same time.
Why
it's
did
okay.
the NFL have these rules for numbers anyways? It makes no sense.
I think it's one of those traditions that nobody really understands. Like they probably just thought, oh, this looks so much more professional if all of the receivers have to wear a number in the 80s and all the quarterbacks have to wear a number between 1 and 19 and all the linebackers have to wear a number in the 50s. You realize that this society we live in has been founded upon rules for no apparent reason. Like, why do half of the rules exist? Like, why? If I'm a devout practicing Catholic, why can't I eat meat on a Friday? Like, what kind of sense does that really make? Like, I have no clue. Like, what's up with kosher? Like, what does it matter? I don't understand all these archaic, arbitrary rules we have, and among those arbitrary, archaic rules has been NFL number restrictions. All right, when we come back, we are going to be joined by a man who does an unbelievable job covering the Miami Dolphins for Sports Illustrated. Also is the NHL's Florida Panthers correspondent. Alan Poupart is going to join us next here on your home for Florida Panthers fans all over the world, OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Listen to every Inter-Miami CF match on your home for La Rosa Negra, OnsideRadio.com. Catch us every day on the MyTuner Radio app. If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
The 25-year-old was reportedly arrested this past week near Vail, where a sheriff's deputy said he saw Camargo's car speeding and changing lanes erratically, which is always really smart. When you're carrying a lot of drugs, you want to speed, you want to swerve, you want to look like you're drunk and high and all that. You want to cause as much attention. You want to bring as much attention to you when you're carrying a load of drugs. That's just a tip for you, thieves out there, you drug dealers, you criminals. Bring all the attention possible to you while you're committing a crime. It's really, really smart.
The Onside Zone with Big O, only on OnsideRadio.com.
Join the Inter-Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
Parents, we know we can't protect our kids from everything. Eventually, they're going to bump their heads or scrape their knees. But we can protect them from 6 types of cancer. HPV, or human papillomavirus, is a common preventable virus that can cause cancer later in life. The HPV vaccine prevents human papillomavirus and all the cancers it can cause. The American Cancer Society recommends getting your sons and daughters the HPV vaccine starting at age 9 to protect them later in life.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
Miami Marlins currently with a 3-0 lead in the top of the 8th over the Orioles, looking to close out and split the series with the Orioles. Miami Heat on the court tonight. They take on the San Antonio Spurs. Tip-off slated for 8:30 p.m. And the Florida Panthers got the win last night. They sweep the Blue Jackets. They win 5-1. Spencer Knight, the rookie, picks up his first NHL win, stopping 33 shots. Next game for the Panthers is Thursday. They take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Puck drop is slated for 7 p.m. With your Onside Sports update, I'm Tito Bonacci. Coming up next, it's more of the man of the match with Alex Donno right here, OnsideRadio.com.
You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, welcome back into Man of the Match with Alex Donno. Always love talking some Miami Dolphins and talking some Florida Panthers with our next guest. Does an awesome job covering the Dolphins for Sports Illustrated. He's NHL.com's Florida correspondent. Alan Poupard joins us. Alan, good afternoon, man. How you been?
I've been great. How about you, Donno?
Doing very well. So is this getting to the point, Alan, where you just must be itching for the draft to actually get here? Because it's been months of speculation, months of writing and talking about things we don't really know about. And are you as ready for draft day as I am?
I was ready last month. Yeah, no, but it's fun to speculate, actually, and especially when you're dealing with a team that number 6. It just opens up a lot of different possibilities as to who they might take, and then the scenarios of trading up, trading back down again, after trading down and trading up. So it's just good-natured fun. But let's be honest. we're all doing our best to speculate and make educated guesses as to what they're going to do. But those teams are everywhere around the league are very tight-lipped, and you're just not getting a whole lot of information leaked out. And some of the information that's leaked out is information that teams want to have leaked out because that's not really what they're thinking. So it's one big guessing game.
And Chris Greer spoke to the media earlier today. Did you get a lot out of that? Like, did he say anything noteworthy, or was it just the typical everything close to the vest?
Yeah, kind of. And again, there's no benefit for him or any other general manager around the league to really reveal their intention. The one thing that I wanted to ask, I never got the chance because the time ran out, was last year he had told us that he had about 7 or 8 players, or Dolphins, I should say, had 7 or 8 players identified as being worthy of the 5th overall pick. And I was curious as to whether he would tell me what the number was this year as far as the number 6 overall pick. My guess is probably around the same number as it was last year, 7 or 8. But beyond that, he's talking about, he was asked specifically whether being a Bill Parcells disciple, he subscribes to the philosophy of the measurables needing to be a certain way. And then again, if he says, yeah, absolutely, I believe that, then does that mean that he can't take Devontae Smith because Devontae Smith turns out weighs 166 pounds officially, or is he better off saying, well, it varies on the player and the rules have changed, which is true. The rules have changed. You don't have to be quite as physical as a wide receiver as you used to be back in the day. But there's no sense in making any sort of definitive comments that kind of close the door or anything where people can come back in 2 weeks and go, well, wait a second, you said the exact opposite during your pre-draft press conference. So, no, this is not – it's an exercise that's done every year. It's not a place where you're going to get a whole lot of tidbits because, again, everybody wants to play it close to the vest.
Yeah, I was a little alarmed when I saw the height and weight numbers for Devontae Smith. It seems like every time a new number comes out, it's lighter than the previous time. I mean, you know, I know it doesn't really mean anything, but at Alabama, he was listed, I think, at 171 pounds. At the pro day, he supposedly weighed 169. Then at the medical combine, he weighs 166, and he's not 6'1". He's actually 6'2", I think 6'2". How much does that concern you, Alan? Like, do you look at Devontae Smith and say, you know, at number 6 overall, this would be too much of a risk because it's such a physical league?
Oh, there's no question about it. Yeah, to me, I would not, from a Dolphin perspective, I would not be on board with taking him at 6.
I'm with you.
And I know, yeah, and I hear people ever say, well, it didn't stop him from beating up the SEC, which is a great league, even at that size. Well, guess what? The SEC, as good as it maybe, is not the NFL. We talk about, and the thing that's interesting to me is that the Dolphin fans who are totally on board with Devontae Smith and throw out again the fact that they stop worrying about his size. He killed it in the SEC. He's going to kill it in the NFL. Well, then if that's the case, then stop Devontae Parker always being hurt and always being on the injury report. Because I'm going to guess Devontae Smith's not going to spend a whole lot of weeks in the NFL where he's not going to be on the injury report. He's just, I mean, and I've done the research. I believe it's 38 wide receivers since 2000 who weighed a $175 or less at the combine, and 2 of them wound up being drafted in the first round. It was the Deshaun Jackson and Marquise. Sorry, not Deshaun Jackson. It was Marquise Brown and Tavon Austin, both of whom incidentally are 5'8" and 5'9", so they're more compact. There's nobody who's been 6 feet
right
and that thin. It's just there's no precedent for it. And I heard. Well, Marvin Harrison. Well, Marvin Harrison's combine measurement was 181 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, people don't realize 15 pounds makes a difference because I've seen that as well, Alan. Like when I express my concerns publicly about Devontae Smith's weight, people will come back at me and say, "Oh, well, you know, Marvin Harrison, this and that." I mean, I do believe 15 pounds makes a difference, and I would imagine he probably got heavier, you know, throughout his career, so he wasn't playing most of his career at 185 pounds.
Correct. And the other issue is, does he have the frame to tack on weight? And you look at Devontae Smith and you say, really? I don't know. Look, I mean, the guy was great in college. There's no question about it. I mean, he's extraordinarily polished in his route running and all that, and he can make all the catches. I mean, yeah, no question. But that's an awful lot of risk, considering it's never been done with somebody that size. To take him at 6, even in a scenario where the Dolphins trade back at 8 or 9, say making a deal with either Carolina or Denver to move back, even at 8 or 9, it's a little rich for my taste because of the risk factor. Now, if he drops all the way down to 18, then yeah, I'm be more willing to take that risk down there.
Here. So, yeah, and you touched a little bit on the possibility of a trade down. That was something that Ian Rappaport mentioned earlier this week, and he didn't say that the Dolphins are trying to trade down. He said that teams are contacting them. This is the type of thing, my personal opinion, I would not expect us to hear anything about a trade down unless it's during the draft, because I think it's going to depend on how things shake out. But do you think, Alan, there's a real possibility that Chris Grier could end up moving down again and collecting more assets?
I could see it, but here's the two things, because I wrote something about that. The way I see it playing out is, to me, it would come down to whether they have a shot at either Pitts or Chase at 6, which is gonna be determined, since we've pretty much already established that the top 3 picks are going to be QBs.
Yeah.
It all hinges on what Atlanta does at 4. If Atlanta goes ahead and decides we're keeping the pick and we don't need a quarterback because we're going to have Matt Ryan for the next couple of years, Kyle Pitts has to be the guy, then since he follows up with Jamar Chase, then I can see the Dolphins maybe even initiating the phone calls with Carolina at 8 or Denver at 9 and say, you guys want to come up for a quarterback? There's only 3 been picked. There's 2 left on the board. So then you drop back down a few spots, hope that Jalen Waddle is still there at 8 or 9, or if not, go in a different direction. Or you could go really bold and talk to Washington, which is picking, 19th, and see if they want to come up for a quarterback and see how much you can get for that. But to me, it comes down to whether Chase and Pitts are both gone by the time the 6th pick comes around, because I think if one of those 2 is there, I think that's going to be the pick. And Pitts would be the first preference.
I agree 100%. We're talking with Alan Poupart. Does an awesome job covering the Miami Dolphins for Sports Illustrated, also the Panthers for NHL.com. What a recent run, Alan, the Panthers are on. And Spencer Knight was really a revelation yesterday. Were you surprised just not only by getting the victory, which is big for a 20-year-old starting in net, but he looked really poised doing it. Like, he didn't look like the moment was too big for him whatsoever.
No, but he was that was the scouting report on him. Like, cool as a cucumber, extraordinarily technically sound. And because of that, he makes like really what should be difficult saves look very routine. And that's totally what we saw. There's nothing acrobatic. And now the Panthers find themselves with an absolute abundance of riches in the net with him, with Bobrovsky, who's picked up his game, and with Chris Drieger, who's a really, really good goalie, who unfortunately is not going to be there probably past the season because now he's unrestricted free agent and they have too many guys. But no, I had high hopes, again, because of what he was advertised as, and that's exactly what we got last night for the Panthers, and just more good news on top of good news with the way things have been going for them lately.
So how do you think the Panthers manage Knight the rest of the way? Because, of course, this team is going to be in the playoffs. They're fighting for a division title, potentially for the President's Trophy. They might end up the top team in the National Hockey League by points this year. So, do you think we see Knight maybe a couple more times in the regular season, or do the Panthers really need to buckle down with the veterans, Bob and Drieger, just to make sure they don't lose any footing for the division? What do you think happens?
I think you could see Knight get a couple more starts, but I think that would happen once it becomes more clear where the Panthers are going to be in the division. I think as long as they're fighting for number 1, I think it's going to be Bob and Drieger splitting games. And then if we reach a point where either Carolina or Tampa Bay pulls away for first place and the Panthers are going to be pretty much looking at second or third, at that point it doesn't make a difference. And then I could see absolutely Knight getting a start here and there, while also at the same time keeping whoever is going to be a projected start in the playoffs. I would assume it's going to be Bob, sharp enough that he's ready to go once the playoffs start.
And I see what Sam Bennett is doing, who was just acquired at the deadline. It's pretty incredible the job that Zito has been doing as general manager. I mean, now because I think I talked to you maybe right after the trade deadline, and I asked you if the team got stronger. Now that we have more of a sample, there's no question this team got a lot better at the deadline, right?
Oh, my God, holy smoke. I mean, Bennett, Montour, Gusev, it's like I made the point today on Twitter. That's like it's absolutely amazing the hit ratio on the newcomers, the acquisitions that Zito has made since he's taken over as GM. With those three, Gudas, Hornquist, Verhaeghe, Duclair, who's playing absolutely phenomenal since he's come back from his injury, and those three guys, Sam Bennett. I asked Jonathan Huberdeau after the game last night if anything had surprised him about Bennett. He made a very good point. He's like, hey, don't forget the guy was the 4th overall pick in his draft, so obviously he's a good player. And for some reason it wasn't happening for him in Calgary, and he got the change of scenery that he needed, and that line has been absolutely outrageous.
Yeah, really good stuff here. I recommend everyone follow this man, Poupart NFL, Poupart NFL on Twitter. Alan Poupart does an awesome job. Enjoy the rest of your week, sir.
Right back at you, my friend.
Love it. Really good stuff there, and I love it. He said he was ready for the draft last week. He was ready for the draft last month. Oh, man. Are we starting to reach mock draft fatigue? I mean, a few days ago when you have when Mel Kiper starts predicting, the Dolphins to trade back up to number 4 last week, I think that's when we officially jumped the shark. When Mel Kiper is tweeting again about mashed potatoes on pizza, that's when you've officially jumped the shark.
I'm so exhausted. Just get me to Thursday. Just get me there.
Dude, I am, and you know me, Tito, how crazy I've been going over for like the last 72 hours on the European Super League, which is it's dusted, so I don't have to stress about it. But I was addicted to information. Like I was addicted to reading all these tweets and reports about who was in the Super League, then who's dropping out of the Super League, and why everyone's so outraged about the Super League. I feel like I haven't had a good night of sleep in days. Like I think the last time I was this exhausted, because I keep staying up super late and waking up super early to read reports and tweets about Super League. Not so much, since last night when it died, but for the previous couple of days. I don't think I've been this exhausted since like the first few weeks after my son was born. And then because, your sleeping schedule's all out of whack when you're dealing with a newborn. So I am really, really tired, and I'm glad I can put that Super League fiasco behind me. We're going to wrap up the 3 o'clock hour when we come back. We touched on Spencer Knight a little bit with Alan. I want to give you my take, weigh in on Spencer Knight, because he's the topic of our round table for today here on Onside Radio. So we'll get into that. Hey, we would like to thank A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie. A Shade Above teamed up with Bandalux to personalize and create the Onside Radio shade in beautiful pink and black. To order protection with style for your home or office like we did, call A Shade Above Window Fashions, 954-434-4774. Go to their website, ashadeaboveflorida.com. Love the space you live in, A Shade Above Window Fashions.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk. You can connect with us at OnSideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnSideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
For over 20 years, Mr. Glass has been committed to the safety and satisfaction of our clients. Our products are the culmination of innovative engineering, aesthetic appeal, and the highest levels of quality. Through our legacy, Mr. Glass strives to impart the true meaning of quality, service, and sustainability to new generations. Reputation, experience, and trust is why clients choose Mr. Glass. Live the future now. Locate a dealer near you today.
At Baptist Health, we are ready
to serve, to treat,
to safely proceed with your procedure.
We're ready for ER visits and office visits
with skilled surgeons,
advanced medicine,
and multidisciplinary teams.
We're ready for new arrivals
and new recoveries.
We are ready.
We're ready to diagnose, treat, and manage
anything that comes our way
with exceptional care and comfort.
With the same preparedness and compassion you've come to expect from Baptist Health.
And we are ready.
We're ready.
We're ready
to care for you.
Can I get a captain?
Captain and what?
Captain and Ginger.
I can't hear you.
Captain and Ginger.
He was a captain and Ginger. Captain and Ginger. He was a captain and Ginger.
Captain Morgan, official partner of Major League Soccer.
Every Thursday, NBA fans can catch one of the best basketball shows in the country when Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winderman host Inside the Paint. Listen to two of the most knowledgeable and connected reporters in the business. Get year-round insight every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. with Inside the Paint on the home for hardcore basketball fans. OnSideRadio.com.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. You know, air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world.
When you're looking to add that extra style and protection for your home or business, visit A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie or Sunrise, where plantation shutters are a major part of our business, and they look great in any home. We have them in white, stained colors, and wood tones. We can even motorize your shutters like the one in the OnSideRadio.com studio. A Shade Above Window Fashions, 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashions.
You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Again, for the second time this week, I was just ripping Mel Kiper Jr. because he puts mashed potatoes on his pizza, and I want him punished. Like I cannot, I don't want him walking the streets putting mashed potatoes on his pizza. We got a funny, though, message in our YouTube chat, and you guys want to make sure that you watch us streaming live on YouTube. Go to YouTube, search for Onside Radio. Subscribe to our channel first and foremost, and then once you're in there, hit the Watch Now button or the Watch Live button. And NorCal writes in, speaking of mashed potatoes, he was tailgating with Da Bus Chicago Bears fan group. They had mashed potato and gravy in a sugar cone. He says, brother, it was life-changing. I was baked, though. I mean, if you try it without the green, it may not have been so life-changing, my friend. I don't know, man. I've got to be really, really baked to put mashed potato and gravy in a sugar cone. That's just me. I mean, teach his own. Enrique writes in, that's a weird mix with a sugar cone. I second that, Enrique. That's not exactly what I would envision putting in a sugar cone. Let's tackle the roundtable question for today. A little context for those who weren't watching. Shame on you if you didn't watch it, but Florida Panthers wrecked the Blue Jackets last night 5-1, and it was a really monumental game because you had a 20-year-old rookie between the pipes. Goalie Spencer Knight made his Panthers debut. 33 saves out of 34 shots, gets the 5-1 victory in net. Really impressive, becomes the youngest Panthers goalie to ever earn a victory, with the previous youngest being the legend Roberto Luongo, who got his first victory in a Panthers jersey at the age of 21. So the roundtable question, all the hosts today are weighing in on it, is this. After Spencer Knight's debut last night, should the Panthers incorporate him more as the season comes to an end, or should they continue to ride Bobrovsky and Drieger and end the experiment right now? It's not an easy question to answer. I'm going to say Spencer Knight played well enough and looked poised enough and professional enough yesterday that I think he's earned himself another opportunity or two in the regular season. I wouldn't use him in either of the upcoming games against Carolina because those are so incredibly important. You have games with Chicago, Dallas, and Nashville before the regular season runs out. You have 9 games left in the regular season. I could totally see a couple more opportunities for Spencer Knight. I think it's important for a number of reasons. A, if he ends up really doing so incredible, then maybe he can be good enough to give you an extra problem. It's a good problem to have when you have a lot of goalies playing well, but he could give you an extra decision to make about the playoffs. I'm not expecting Spencer Knight to be a guy that they lean on in the postseason, but maybe if he does so well the rest of the way you consider it. Also, it's important for me to get him a little bit more time between the posts because he's going to be your number 2 next year. Chris Drieger, unrestricted free agent, he's going to be playing hockey somewhere else this season from now. So give Knight, as long as he keeps playing well, if he's a liability out there, then you don't want to risk your playoff standing. I get it. But if Knight keeps playing the way he played last night, I mean, absolutely. Give the kid another shot, and if he plays well again, you can give him a 3rd, 4th game before the regular season expires. But I'm not expecting the Panthers to commit some act of charity where they decide to use Knight over and over and over again, because we're not talking about a team that's already out of the playoff picture. We're talking about a team that's going to be in the playoffs and might win the division and might have the best record in the entire National Hockey League once this is all said and done. So this is not, an internship for Spencer Knight. This is a team that needs to win games. So if he can earn it, great. But once you hit the playoffs, it better be Bobrovsky time. He better be on point because Bob is your $10 million man. Bob is the guy who's proven his worth in the playoffs before and won multiple Vezina trophies in Columbus. Sergei Bobrovsky better be the guy ready to step up in the postseason. If you end up having to rely on a 20-year-old rookie goaltender, they call him in hockey, in the playoffs, then that's a big problem, right? So I don't want to have to see Spencer Knight in the postseason because that means Bobrovsky and even Drieger are not doing their jobs properly. But I do think that Knight played well enough yesterday that he's earned himself a little bit more burn before the regular season is over. So, I can't tell you exactly what Joel Quenneville is thinking, but I know Coach Q was very impressed with Knight's performance last night, and I think he's earned some more opportunities here. 844-416-8123. We'll get the 4 o'clock hour kicked off when we come back. Talk a little Miami Heat with you. At 4:22, Alphonse Sidney's going to join us here on Onside Radio. Hey, Miami Dolphins fans, join us for OnsideRadio.com's NFL Draft Party at Sports Grill in Miami at 11481 Southwest 40th Street. That's Bird Road. Join Big O and myself for this 2-night event starting on Thursday, April 29th at 7:30 and Friday, day 2 at 6:30 p.m. Drink and food specials, giveaways, and the best damn draft party in South Florida. Join us for this 2-night event as OnsideRadio.com and Sports Grill and Bird Road bring you the best NFL Draft Party on the planet.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the home of Inter Miami CF.
His strike is a decent one. It's fired into the top right corner. Gonzalo Higuain opens his account for Inter Miami.
OnsideRadio.com, where the passion for La Rosa Negra runs deep. You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. OnsideRadio.com knows gamers need a home.
Can you dig it?
That's why for the next 60 seconds,
Can you count, suckers?
here's your Onside Radio E-Report with Toast.
Sony has revealed that the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita digital stores will remain active, reversing its previous announcement that the storefronts would shut down later in 2021. The initial decision to shutter them was met with backlash from the gaming community, since the PS4 and PS5 don't offer native backward compatibility to the older PlayStation generations. While players still would have been able to re-download games they had already purchased on both the PS3 and PS Vita, many people were concerned about preserving games. The backlash and Sony's response to it show that there is still an audience for the older titles. Happy gaming.
Stay in touch in the world of gaming with the Onside Radio E-Report. You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, 4 o'clock hour of Man of the Match here with Alex Donno. I'm Alex Donno on OnsideRadio.com. Oh, I'm sweating this out, man. Inter Milan taking on Spezia. 58th minute, the game's tied 1-1. Took a little bit of pressure off earlier today because crosstown rivals AC Milan, who are, they're well behind, but they're the next team in the table competing for the Italian League Championship. They lost today to Sassuolo 2-1, so Inter, no matter what happens here, they would have at least a 9-point atop the table lead over Milan with, I think, 6 games after this one left. But still, man, I want them to get all 3 points against Spezia because Spezia are not a great side. There seems to be a curse. Like a lot of the teams that were in Super League, now that Super League has crumbled, seems like a lot of the Super League teams not doing well. Although, Tito, your Man City, they've taken the lead back, right? So they're up. Are they up 2-1? Do I have that correct?
They are up 2-1, and it just went into the half. So
nice.
All good on that front. I was a little worried there.
Yeah, and Tottenham had a really bad start, and they ended up coming back from 1-0 down to beat Southampton 2-1. So maybe it's just the Super League teams are just starting slow and then coming on late. Although Milan did lose, but they, that's banter material, man. I hate those guys. I've got to hope the rivals can drop games and drop points, but I want to see my beloved Inter salvage all 3 points in this game against Spezia. They had the 1-0 disadvantage. They came back from a goal down. I'd like to see them complete the comeback. They're about at the hour mark here. Hey, if you want to get in, share your infinite wisdom with us via the station text line. That's 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. I love this text that came in earlier while we were talking about Messi potentially coming to Inter Miami. I don't want to get you guys too excited, but there was a report from an Argentinian broadcaster that, not only reported that Messi is going to sign an extension this summer with Barcelona, but furthermore, in a year or two, he mentioned Inter Miami as a possibility for Messi's next destination after Barca. So I don't give you permission to get very excited because soccer transfer rumors can be all over the place, man. There's always a lot of bad reporting and misinformation, so you can never get too over the moon over a report or a rumor. But I do give you permission to get a little bit excited because even the possibility of Messi coming to South Florida and playing for Inter Miami gets me very excited. A texter, though, writes in, Donno, that's why the rest of the country hates us. we're always going to be linked to the Stars, baby. They hate us because they ain't us. That's from Vice City Mondo. Yeah, they hate us because they ain't us. The MLS even hates us. They don't want us to have stars. When we have stars, they try to say, oh, you got too many designated players. You got too many TPs. Like, they're going to try to keep Messi from coming here. Like, Messi is going to tell them, I want to sign with Inter Miami. And they're going to say, Messi, are you sure you don't want to go to Los Angeles? Are you sure you don't want to go to New York City FC? Are you sure you want to go to Miami? They're going to try to steer him away. I've got this siege mentality, this us against the world mentality. You know, a lot of MLS fans hate us. And I think the league itself doesn't like us very much. So I'm really, really not happy with the way Inter Miami are getting treated. But if Messi wants to come here, if he wants to join David Beckham's beautiful franchise, who am I to tell him no? I would love Lionel Messi coming down here, my friends. I would absolutely love it. Make sure you're watching us and partaking in the YouTube chat. So go to YouTube or youtube.com, search Onside Radio, hit the Watch Now button. Subscribe to our channel is a really good idea. The Heat tonight taking on the San Antonio Spurs. We're going to talk about that in about 15 minutes with Alphonse Sidney. Alf from Miami Heat Beat does a great job on Hangover Time. You know, a story that originated right here on Onside Radio in the best damn basketball show in South Florida and one of the best in the country. I'm talking about Inside the Paint with Ira Winterman and Ethan Skolnick on Mondays. Ira and Ethan talked about how, you know, the Heat might be a little bit concerned now. The Heat organization, front office, and some of his teammates are a little bit concerned about all the off-the-field stuff, off-the-court stuff, I should say, with Tyler Hero, that he may be getting a little bit too Hollywood. This is a 21-year-old young man who's, you know, not won anything yet in his basketball career. Did get to a finals last year, played really well in the bubble, so I give him some credit. I'm not going to completely discount Tyler Hero, but so young in his career, has not won a Larry O'Brien trophy, is not an all-star yet. And, you know, this guy is doing tons of commercials. He's got his own cereal. He's got his own Chipotle bowl. He's dating an Instagram model. He's doing all these sorts of advertisements and jet setting and partying on yachts and stuff. You know, so, you know, is there a level of concern with the Heat? And I'm sure when you compare Tyler Hero, you know, to a guy like Bam Adebayo, who, yeah, has some more endorsements than Tyler, or has some endorsements, maybe not as many as Tyler, but he's also accomplished more so far in his career, and he's keeping it a lot more low-key than Hero. Is it fair for the Heat front office to be a little bit concerned that, hey, is this going to affect him on the court? You know, according to Ethan and Ira, the Heat were a little bit concerned during the Big Three era that LeBron, Wade, and Bosh were getting a little bit too Hollywood and their heads were getting a little bit big during that time. I think a lot of this comes with the territory in the Heat front office, right? I mean, Pat Riley, old school. Mickey Arison follows Riley's lead. Eric Spoelstra is a Riley disciple. Like, everyone follows Riley's example. And I know it's ironic because Riley was the famed coach of the Showtime Lakers. But, you know, Riley still has in many ways that 1980s mentality, that it's not to say he doesn't want his athletes to be successful off the court and to have personalities and more revenue streams. But with Riley, he always wants to make sure no matter how big of a star you get, it's always basketball first. No matter how big of a star you get, how marketable, how good looking you are, how sought after you are with advertisements, that your number one focus is basketball, and your number two focus is basketball, your number three focus is basketball, then maybe number four is your family, and then number five is your advertisements. And if they're thinking that, you know, Tyler Hero might be kind of violating that pact a little bit, they probably want to rein this young man in just to make sure that this doesn't stunt his basketball career. Because for as promising as Tyler Hero is, great talent, great three-point shot, can create his own shot, has a lot of potential on the defensive end of the floor, he's still, by NBA standards, an incomplete player. Like, he still is raw. He lacks some of the consistency. I don't think he's improved much, if at all, from last year. And that's a little bit concerning to me. You know, there's other perspectives on this. On Monday, we were talking with our good buddy Giancarlo Navas, also from Miami Heat Beat, and I brought up this topic to him, and G's take was that he thought the Heat are throwing Hero under the bus a little bit. That in this case, he didn't seem to think it was fair that Miami is expressing concerns over Hero, and he kind of thought that, hey, these guys are being a little bit too meddling. They're not letting this guy live his life. We also talked a little bit about how, Mickey Arison wrote that tweet mentioning that he was disappointed that Dwayne Wade didn't buy into the Heat and he was buying into the Jazz instead. So that was a jab. I mean, you can take it however you want it from Mickey, because Mickey did say, hey, congratulations to Wade. I'm very happy for you. But he also was a little bit petty because he said, you know what, we had offered him ownership stake and he wasn't interested. We're very disappointed he didn't reconsider. So there was a little bit of petty in that tweet from Mickey Arison. Do you guys think the Miami Heat the organization might be a little bit too hands-on with not letting their players be and not letting their players make choices? Because honestly, I don't know how you feel about this, Alex, but I just I think you have to take that with the good. I think there are reasons why the Heat are such a well-run, successful organization. Sometimes you have to at least help your players protect themselves from all of the pitfalls that can come with fame and fortune. I know that I may sound a little bit too old school when I say that, but I think there's a reason why you don't often. I mean, there are exceptions. Gerald Green with that little Flocka situation that he had. Dion Waiters with the gummies on the plane. Like, it's not to say Hassan Whiteside's exploits. It's not to say that everybody who's played in the Heat has been a perfect, consummate professional. But this organization prides themselves in nurturing and fostering players who are professionals first and who always put basketball and winning and success on the court over anything off the court. And I think there's a way to balance it, right? And unfortunately, I think the Heat are a little bit concerned right now. Come on, Lukaku. Oh, my God. How do you not score that? Oh, my God. I'm going to throw something. Oh, Jesus Christ. How many chances can you have right in front of the goal? Oh, my Lord. One-on-one with the keeper. Who is this keeper? I don't know the name of the Spezia goalkeeper, but he just made two freaking ridiculous saves. The first of those was one-on-one with Romelu Lukaku. I'm trying to take a 2-1 lead here, man. You can't do this to me. You cannot do this to me. Oh, my God. I can't complain about Lukaku because the guy's been fantastic this year, so I'm not going to slander him. But that's, 99 times out of 100, you give Lukaku an opportunity like that, and he's going to get it past the keeper. Like, he tried to get fancy and dribble past the keeper when he was one-on-one. I thought he should have banged a shot. Oh, and now freaking Brozovic puts it like 2 miles over the goal. Oh, geez, this is really going to test my patience for about the next 20 minutes. You got to get 3 points here. There's no excuse. Jeez, it was actually. I'm looking at the replay right now. Oh, wow! I got to give it to the keeper. Like, he made a great job extending his arms, but Lukaku should have just shot instead of trying to get around him. Oh my God, this is going to take years off my life. I'm happy for Alex Aguirre because his Marlins won 3-0 victory today. The Marlins have been absolutely steamrolling. I'm actually mad, Alex, that I didn't bet my pension on the Marlins to win the World Series.
You're missing out, man.
Seriously.
No, I wouldn't have done that. I don't want. I know who it is. Who did that? That works with us here at Inter Miami, but I see him every day, and I that's the first thing I think of. I'm just like, why?
Every time I see him, he reminds me of it. He's like, I told you should have bet your pension on the Marlins like I did. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm sorry.
I'm happy for them. Don't get me wrong, but not pension happy.
Yeah. Our guy Jazz Chisholm, is he related to Kai?
He's related to Kai and Jazz Santana. So,
yeah, it's weird.
They're all related.
Yeah, we have if you combine Jazz Santana, who does the Sunday Sports Drop on Sundays, with Kai Chen Chisholm, who hosts the great show Kai's Corner here 10 to noon on Onside Radio. You've got Jazz Chisholm. We have Jazz Santana. We have Kai Chen Chisholm. It's crazy how that guy plays for the Marlins.
Jazz hit in the leadoff spot for the first time today in his MLB career. He had 2 hits. It's pretty good. They split the series against Baltimore, so these are the type of games that you want to win. Baltimore is not expected to win the division. They had a hot start to their season so far, but in the long run, everyone predicts the Orioles to be in the bottom of their division, so it's good the Marlins took advantage of this game.
Yeah, no doubt. When we come back, we're going to talk some Miami Heat basketball. I want to ask him his take on the Tyler Hero saga. We're going to be joined by our guy, Alphonse Sidney from Hangover Time on Miami Heat Beat is going to join us after this here on Onside Radio. Hey, Heat and NBA fans, you can catch Ira Winderman here exclusively at OnsideRadio.com with our Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat reports. Catch Ira throughout the week at OnsideRadio.com and when news breaks. Basketball fans know Onside Radio is the place you get the insight you need.
We'll be right back to the man of the match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnsideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
Big O, Tito is not allowed in the Boom Boom Room. Never seen Smokey and the Bandit. Never seen Top Gun. What's the matter with these kids? Look at that. Now you can't hang out with Salma, Paige, Sophia. See, now you can't hang out with the ladies because you have not seen Top Gun.
Yeah, I would just hope that, like I said, the Boom Boom Room is sanitized. I would hope.
Well, I don't know, but did you hear about the 81-person orgy?
No.
What is wrong with you?
The Onside Zone with Big O, only on OnsideRadio.com.
Hey Panthers fans, Dave Dwork here with some awesome news. Every Saturday, I'm going to bring you the latest on everything to do with the Florida Panthers with Chirping the Cats Radio. Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., we'll dive into the state of the team, recap games, and hear from past and present Panthers players, and plenty of other great hockey guests too. Got questions about the Panthers? Call or text the show and we'll break it down. Don't miss Chirping the Cats Radio, Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., only on OnsideRadio.com.
This Saturday, Inter Miami CF visits the Philadelphia Union at Subaru Park.
And now Higuain trying to bend his run in behind. Flag is temporarily stayed down. Higuain is in at the square with Robinson. No square. Robbie Robinson has opened the scoring. The flag is stayed down. And Inter Miami are off and running in 2021. They lead the LA Galaxy by a goal to nil.
Join OnsideRadio.com as we broadcast live from Dangerous Minds Brewing Company in Pompano. Our pregame broadcast watch party starts at 7 p.m. Game time is 8 p.m. Listen to all the games by going to our website at OnsideRadio.com and download any of our apps. Follow Inter Miami CF all year long on your home for football. OnsideRadio.com.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. You know, air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Fish fans, time to reel in the latest news in baseball with OnsideRadio.com's Marlins Minute. Here's Alex Aguirre.
The Marlins' comeback falls short after the Fish lose their series opener against the Baltimore Orioles last night, 7-5. Nick Nider struggled in his outing, going only 3 innings and allowing 5 runs. After Sunday night's game, Lewis Brinson was recalled from the alternate training site after Starling Marte was sidelined with a fractured rib and placed on the 10-day IL. Brinson went 1 for 3 and drew a walk. During last night's game, catcher Jorge Alfaro left in the 3rd inning with left hamstring soreness. Sandy Leon is the 3rd catcher on the roster if needed. Today, the Marlins close out their series against Baltimore, and it's a battle of the lefties. Trevor Rogers will be on the mound for the Marlins against Bruce Zimmerman for the Orioles. Rogers has 62 strikeouts on the season, and that is 3rd most by an active left-handed pitcher through his first 10 big league starts. First pitch is at 1:10. Let's go Fish.
Keep up with the latest on the Miami Marlins by subscribing on most platforms by searching Onside Radio.
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated and it can last a lifetime. Living with a condition can sometimes be a challenge. It may take years to accept a formal diagnosis, and it's not always easy to find the right treatment plan. Did you know that up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental health condition that also requires a comprehensive approach to treatment? ADHD guidelines were recently updated to reflect the need to screen for associated disorders. Be sure to talk with your child's doctor about proper screening and visit more2adhd.com for additional information. That's more2adhd.com. This message has been brought to you in partnership with ADA, ACO, and CHAD.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Love talking basketball and so much more with our next guest, Alphonse Sidney, who does an awesome job hosting Hangover Time for Miami Heat Beat and Light Skinned Opinions. Alf, good afternoon, man. How are you?
Not bad, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. And before I talk basketball with you, I want to get into some of your feelings after the verdict yesterday. You covered it on Light Skinned Opinions. Finally justice for George Floyd and his family with the triple guilty verdict. And I'm curious, man, as to how it makes you feel, because I know it's a tough one, because it's like, you don't necessarily want to rejoice because the verdict was necessary and it was right. So it's like we shouldn't have to rejoice something that should have happened. And I know people are reacting a number of different ways. How did it make you feel when we got the news yesterday afternoon?
I guess I like to look at it from a micro and a macro sense, right? On a micro sense, it was there's a sense of joy because for just George Floyd and his family, that was justice, right?
Yeah.
Their family member was murdered, in front of the entire world, and they got what few families that have been through what they've been through actually achieved, justice within our criminal justice system. On the macro, I explained to somebody it's a drop in a sea of just of unfortunate events, right? It's a drop. It's just one drop of justice in a sea of discrimination. And on a macro sense, it's not justice, it's accountability. And, the first step in this is accountability, because true justice means these things don't happen in the first place, when we're taking a societal view. But, if we start with accountability and, when these things do happen, people are held accountable, you would think the domino effect would be there would be pause the next time an officer decides to kneel on somebody's neck or pull their gun on an unarmed person of color. And you would think that after seeing so many police officers testify and cross that thin blue line, that maybe we'll see some change. And instead of waiting for a trial, we'll start to see action at the time of these events from other officers. Because remember, there was 4 officers involved.
Right.
This is just a fraction of justice, if you will. So, you would hope next time an Officer Tao turns around and pushes Chauvin off of the guy's neck in this kind of situation. So, on a micro level, yes, it is something to be joyous about, because a family got a sense of peace from what happened to their family member. But on a macro sense, it is just the beginning. If this trial, if this case, if everything that happens sets a precedent going forward, then it is a win. If it's just, if it's one conviction to placate the masses won't be placated. And this is just another event in an endless cycle of these unfortunate events.
Well said, and I certainly hope it's just the beginning. We're joined here by Alphonse Sidney, who does an awesome job not only on Light Skinned Opinions, but of course on Hangover Time on Miami Heat Beat. So there's been a lot of noise the last couple of days, Alf, and it actually started here on Onside Radio with the show on Mondays that Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winderman do, Mondays at 10 a.m. Inside the Paint, where they talked about, the Heat organization maybe having a little bit concern over, all of Tyler Hero's like Hollywood activities off the court, and maybe they're wondering if that might be affecting him on the court. What's your take? Do you think that's something to be legitimately concerned about for a guy like Tyler Hero, maybe getting a little bit ahead of himself with all the off-the-court stuff and all the endorsements he's doing?
I look at it like this, Donald. Who did they sign this offseason at the guard position? They made one signing. It was Avery Bradley, right? The Miami Heat told you with that signing that they expected Tyler Hero to take this huge leap.
Yeah.
Right? They profited off of the snarl, the swag, the drip. They have been promoting this guy, for over a calendar year now. And for them to be upset that now he's famous is kind of wild to be like, you're upset, you're mad at your own creation. They told the fan base, they told the NBA, and they told the world that we don't need a point guard. We're not worried about Goran Dragic because we have Tyler Hero, and he's going to take this Steph Curry, Devin Booker leap. And they leak to the media all the time that he needs to look at his ceiling not as J.J. Redick but as Devin Booker, as Steph Curry. They created this monster, if you will, and I don't really think it's a monster. I think it's a young kid taking advantage of all the opportunities that NBA stardom that comes with that, right?
Right.
So it almost feels like the stuff that we gave you as a Heat organization, as a Heat franchise, we're okay with that. But once you go outside of our realm, our sphere of Miami Heat culture, and you go make a cereal unsanctioned, you date an IG model unsanctioned, you have a song with Jack Harlow unsanctioned, now you're getting too big for your britches. I think it's hypocritical. I think it's looking for an excuse because a guy has not taken the leap that you expected. You set an expectation, he hasn't achieved it. Is it necessarily his fault, or is it your fault for setting the expectation, an unreal expectation for a second-year player?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't think that my personal expectation for Tyler Hero is nearly as high as the one from a lot of Heat fans. What's your expectation for Tyler on how good you think he can really be?
And one thing I do want to add, and this is pure speculation on my part, Tyler Winslow. That's a Freudian slip. Tyler Hero. I think he's not right physically. I think there's something going on. I don't know if it's complications from COVID, if there's a leg injury. There's something that's not quite right because he has never been a great defender or a good defender, but he at least gave effort in the past. And now you see him looking physically winded and not giving effort, not dying on screens like he's never died on screens before. So that's one. Now, as far as my expectations of Tyler, I got screamed at. I think you remember, Donno, and around December when I was saying he's not a point guard. He's barely a starter. He is a small guard off the bench who can get you, 15 to 18 points on a given night. Some nights he can blow up for 25 to 30, but he has a very difficult time creating his own shot and creating for others. He doesn't get past guys very well. He doesn't finish in traffic. He's just not strong. He's not big enough yet. And will he get there? I don't know. I think I do think he has a very high ceiling because you see that he just has the skills, like the natural talent. But there are some things as far as the weight room, as far as not being afraid of NBA contact. Those things take time. And Tyler Hero didn't have an off season. He didn't have a second summer league. He had he's playing a truncated schedule in his second year, and he had no off season. So I think the expectations need to be tempered. What he can be one day, I have no idea. But I think this year, I think he's been fine. And I just think what I think is he needs a shorter leash. He doesn't need to be playing full fourth quarters if he's having a bad game. And that's where I say the Heat have set him up to be, this superstar closer, fourth quarter guy. He's our new point guard. And when he doesn't live up to those expectations, now we get reports that, it's because of freaking cereal. Like, come on, give me a break.
Hey, are we going to see Victor Oladipo again in 2021? What the heck's going on there with that leg of his?
I mean, all the reports say yes, that he'll come back. We had the Slater scoop.
Oh, I didn't see that. I missed the Slater
you
scoop.
didn't see that?
No.
Slater scoop at Joe Stonecrab. He said Victor Oladipo said he's coming back. I mean,
Nice.
what a sentence, the Slater scoop from Joe Stonecrab. But, I mean, that's about as Miami a report as you can possibly get.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, Victor Oladipo, I do think he'll be back. Listen, if he's back at 80%, and 80% of Victor Oladipo makes a huge difference for this team, it gives Goran it gives you the ability to find the hot hand between Goran, Nunn, and Tyler, right? And instead of banking on three guys who can't play defense, you basically play with that rotation off the bench to get you some scoring, while Victor Oladipo holds it down defensively in the starting and closing units. So yeah, I do think he'll be back. Whether it's going to be 100%, I don't know if Victor will be 100% without an off season. Like he's a small guy who likes to, like Dwayne likes to play in traffic a little bit, and his knees aren't right, and that's just a bad mix.
The Heat have been such a streaky team this year. I liked what they beat a bad Houston team, but they also had so many guys out, so I was happy to see a routine win. They had the game-winning shot from Bam against Brooklyn on Sunday's run, a nice little run here. Are they going to continue the run in San Antonio? What do you think happens tonight?
I've not seen the injury report. I think that's the thing. You have to look at the injury report. And but even when they have all their guys, they'll lose to a bad team. When they have none of their guys, they'll beat a good team. So this team is very hard to figure out right now. I do think that they have a good chance tonight against San Antonio. I don't know what the money line is. I'm not a gambling man, but
I haven't looked. They're definitely underdogs. I don't know the exact line, but they're definitely dogs.
Then I'd put my money on the Heat. I think they win tonight. I think they have a little bit of momentum. They're feeling good. I think Jimmy called them out, and they have something to prove. I think a lot of guys got some confidence last game. I really think Dwayne Dedmon brings a whole new basically attitude to that bench unit where, no, we're not going to just, shoot a bunch of threes and give up every offensive rebound. We're actually going to compete in the paint. We're actually going to attack. We're going to attack the boards. We're not just, it's not just Precious being the biggest guy out there at 6'8". It's a completely different look. So I like the momentum they have right now. So I do think a win in San Antonio is absolutely possible.
I hope so. We're talking with Alphonse Sidney. Excellent work. You want to check him out on Twitter at Alf954. Make sure you watch him on Hangover Time after Miami Heat games, and check out Light Skinned Opinions as well. Alf, thank you so much, man. Enjoy the rest of your week.
No problem. Anytime, brother.
Good stuff there by Alf. All right, we continue the 4 o'clock hour. Remember at 5 o'clock, we're going to talk a little boxing. I'm still losing my mind with this soccer game, but I want to talk a little bit more, a little bit of NFL football when we come back. The reaction to the Las Vegas Raiders tweet, along with some new insight on Justin Fields, a pretty interesting health update on here. We'll get to that and more when we come back. Hey, start your morning every day at 8 a.m. with Toasted Sports. Toast covers all the local sports stories while providing some great Miami Hurricanes insight. So download, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Toasted Sports, 8 to 10 a.m. only at OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnSideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnSideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. This Saturday, Inter Miami CF visits the Philadelphia Union at Subaru Park.
And now Higuain trying to bend his run it behind. Flag is temporarily stayed down. Higuain is in. That's a square with Robinson. No square. Robbie Robinson has opened the scoring. The flag is stayed down. And Inter Miami are off and running in 2021. They lead the LA Galaxy by a goal to nil.
Join OnsideRadio.com as we broadcast live from Dangerous Minds Brewing Company in Pompano. Our pregame broadcast watch party starts at 7 p.m. Game time is 8 p.m. Listen to all the games by going to our website at OnsideRadio.com and download any of our apps. Follow Inter Miami CF all year long on your home for football. OnsideRadio.com.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com. Hey everybody, it's Good Greek Moving and Storage, and for over 2 decades, they've been entrusted to handle all of your moving and storage needs. And now, Good Greek is the official mover of Inter Miami CF. And if Inter Miami trusts the Good Greek, you should too. For the best move ever, whether it's across town or across the country, go to GreekMoving.com. That's GreekMoving.com for Good Greek Moving and Storage, the official movers of your Inter Miami CF.
Riddle me this. With all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
My daughter Brinley is here at St. Jude. Coming here was literally life or death, and it was so scary. But St. Jude is fighting for one goal, like this one mission, life. And that gave us hope. We haven't received a single bill from St. Jude, so I really can just focus on what's best for Brinley.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
The Florida Panthers beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 5-1 last night. Spencer Knight picked up his first NHL win, stopping 33 Blue Jackets shots. Next game is at home versus the Carolina Hurricanes. Puck drops at 7 p.m. The Miami Marlins split their 2-game series against the Baltimore Orioles, winning 3-0 today behind Trevor Rogers' strong pitching. He had 7 shutout innings, 8 strikeouts, and only 1 walk. Jesus Aguilar highlighted the offense with 2 RBIs in the 5th inning with a double. The Marlins are back in action tomorrow on the West Coast, taking on the San Francisco Giants for a 4-game series. First pitch is at 9:45. With your Onside Sports Update, I'm Alex Aguirre, and coming up, it's more Man of the Match with Alex Donno right here at OnsideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
With you until 6 o'clock here on Onside Radio, Man of the Match, Alex Donno. Inside Drive Pink Stadium here in Fort Lauderdale, have Alex Aguirre running the wheels of steel. At 5 o'clock, we're going to talk with professional welterweight boxer Javier Molina, who is fighting on the pay-per-view undercard this week of the Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Chris Arreola card. Javier Molina is going to be talking to a guy who's actually joined us on the show before, Jesus Ramos. So I'm assuming Javier is a really nice guy, and we're going to have a fun conversation with him. I'm not going to know who to root for, right? Because we're going to have two friends of the show going up against one another on Saturday or on May 1st. That's not this now. It's the following Saturday. So we got a little bit over a week until that fight. I don't know who I'm going to be rooting for on that undercard fight. I don't know if, Alex, I had Tito in here earlier, and Tito is a huge Mario Chalmers fan. And he actually found Mario Chalmers wine. I had no clue that the former Miami Heat point guard had his own wine label. There are some athletes that I love. I love Dan Marino. I love me. I know he hasn't proven much yet, but I love me some Tua Tagovailoa. I love Dwayne Wade. I don't know if I would be jumping to drink the wine of any of these guys. Like, would you go out of your way, Alex, to go buy Mario Chalmers wine? Maybe if it's like $4 a bottle, I might consider it.
For the right price, yeah, why not? I'll try it out. Do you wait if he I'll try his line of wine. If I don't know if he has one or not. I know he's really into it, like Jimmy Butler is. But let's say Jimmy Butler comes out with a line or like a brand for for his own wine. I would try it out because he definitely knows a lot more than I do about wine. And I think that's all he drinks in terms of alcoholic beverages.
I want to try his coffee. I want to
that
try
too.
the Big Face coffee.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive, so it must be pretty good. I hope.
Is it like $10 a cup or something?
Something like that. Yeah, $12 a cup.
And we got our guy Tony 2 times, who's in the YouTube chat. He's also an Inter Milan fan, and he notices I'm wearing the jersey today, the third kit from last year. Freaking 1-1 draw with Spezia. Just went final a few minutes ago. I'm in a terrible mood. The good news is the team that is behind us in second place, crosstown rivals, AC Milan, actually lost today to Sassuolo. So, drawing today was not a catastrophe. We actually picked up a point, ahead of AC Milan. Juventus did win today against Parma, but Juventus are 11 points back of us, and AC Milan are 10 points back of us. So, could have really put the nail in the coffin today, Tony. I'm disappointed. I had the game on in the background. I was losing my goddamn mind during the game. We missed some sitters. We had a couple of goals in the second half that were rightfully ruled off for offside, but it was, you were that close to taking the 2-1 lead. You're that close, man. It's frustrating. Honestly, this is a conversation I have with people who just don't really care to learn about soccer and watch soccer, because people always say, oh, well, you know what? There's not a lot of scoring, therefore the game must be really boring. That rhymes. I didn't even do that on purpose. Like, oh, you've got some 1-1 games, you got some 0-0 games, we call them 0-0. You've got 2-1 games. Like, how exciting could that possibly be? I'm watching basketball, they're scoring like 200 points combined, and in soccer they're scoring 2-3 goals. That's got to be boring. Let me tell you, man, when you get emotionally invested in teams, there's really nothing boring about a 1-1 finish or a 2-1. Sometimes 0-0s can be boring if neither team is creating chances and attacking. But it's like any sport. I've seen boring NBA games. I've seen boring college football games and NFL games because sometimes the offenses just don't execute. So, yeah, it's the same thing in soccer. You can watch some boring 0-0 final scores if the teams aren't really creating chances. That's fine. But I got to tell you, you get emotionally invested in a soccer club, and it's a close game, and it's coming down to the wire, and, you're like this close. If you can't see me, if you're listening, I'm putting my two fingers together. Like, you're this close to scoring a game-winning goal, or the other team is this close to beating you on a game-winning goal. The heart starts racing. There's nothing boring about that, man. There's nothing boring about being invested in a soccer club. Really close game, you're inches away from scoring a goal, or God forbid you find the back of the net and they rule it offsides, or the VAR takes it off the board for something. I mean, honestly, people who call soccer boring are just people who you don't care to actually understand it or allow yourself to get emotionally invested in a club. The entire world can't be wrong. What, because you're all American, and you say, hey, well, you know what, that's soccer. That can't be exciting because they don't score a lot of goals in that soccer. I like me a football game. Every time you score, it's worth 7 points. If you score a goal in soccer, it's only worth a point. That's not exciting. Yeah, if you grow up with that sort of a ridiculous attitude, you don't give the game a chance, you're not going to get invested. But, I mean, the entire freaking world rates soccer. I mean, basically, like every country except this one, Maybe, a few countries like in the Caribbean who love baseball don't really care for soccer. Outside of that, bro, you're in South America. Well, Canada also because they rate hockey. But, like, you're in South America. You're in Europe, Asia. They love soccer over there. Africa, they're all about soccer. Australia's coming around. There aren't many fans in Antarctica, but, there's like nobody living there. So what does it really matter? I mean, the entire world cannot be wrong. Just because you might think soccer is boring because you don't like the fact that they only score a few points per game usually doesn't mean the entire world is wrong about it, man. I know my guy Andy in Scotland agrees with me. He's eating that haggis out there. He's watching the Scottish national team. Good evening, Andy in Scotland. Hello, Tony. Hello, Enrique. Hello, Rafa, Miami. Rafa had a funny line earlier. We were talking about how every time Devontae Smith steps on a scale, he gets smaller, right? You notice when he was at Alabama, 6'1", 171 pounds. He gets to the Alabama Pro Day. He's 6'1", 169 pounds. Then he goes to the medical combine, and he's 6 foot 2 inches and 166 pounds. Rafa in Miami said, by draft day, I fully expect Devontae Smith to be 5'10", 155. It's trending in that direction. This guy's Benjamin Button. He's not growing. He's shrinking. He's growing in reverse.
What I think he's going to do is he's going to keep shrinking or faking his weight and his height, and then right before, wherever he gets drafted, I'm not predicting where he's going to get drafted, but wherever he gets drafted, right before his first picture day or they're getting the numbers for his first game or whatever, he just goes 6'4", 6'4", 185, 195, something like that. He just goes absurd.
They're going to stretch him out. It's going to be like, I guess it's going to be did you ever see the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? Like,
the old one?
Yeah, the old one. Didn't they have to, they took Violet Beauregard to, the juicing room. Like, remember when she blew up?
Right, yes.
Like, she blew up like a big blueberry.
Mhm.
So they had to, take her to, the juicing room. They're going to have to take, Devontae Smith to, the stretching room. Like, they're going to put him on the rack, and all of a sudden it's going to be, hey, just kidding. Remember when he was 6 foot tall at the medical combine? He's 6'7" now. It's incredible. I mean, he weighs 140 pounds, but he's 6'7". He's going to look like Manute Bol by the time they roll him out to the draft.
It reminds me of the other Willy Wonka one, the new one with the kid who's obsessed with TV.
Mike TV.
He gets stretched. He shrinks so tiny that they put him in some machine, and then he walks out of the factory with his mom 8 feet tall, but paper thin or something like that.
Yes, that's
so
going to be what they do.
Yep, that's going to do it. That's going to be Devontae.
That remake was bad, though, bro. We can agree on that.
Very cringy. Another cringy type of movie. One of Johnny Depp's low points, I think, in his career.
Yeah, you're right about that. Gene Wilder is the only Wonka I recognize.
For sure.
And Gene Wilder sang songs. Johnny Depp didn't even sing.
Nah, he was creepy.
And I know Johnny Depp can sing because wasn't Sweeney Todd? I never saw
he
it.
Sang.
But he sang in that,
And
right?
he's technically he has his own band apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. So he could sing. Well,
He's talented.
I don't understand. Why didn't Willy Wonka sing in the remake? Johnny Depp could have done it. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and do it. The Candyman can.
Classics.
The
Classics.
Candyman can because he sprinkles it with love and makes the world taste good. I tried to show that movie to my son when he was 2.
What did he think?
He's 3 now. I tried to show it to him when he was 2. He was frightened of the Oompa Loompas.
I was about to say that. I'm sure he got scared by the Oompa Loompas.
Yeah. Actually, no, it wasn't the Oompa Loompas. He actually liked the little song they sing, but what he was scared of, which still scares me to this day, and I'm 36
boat ride?
The boat ride. Oh my God, the boat ride is terrifying.
It's trippy.
Slugworth.
Very psychedelic.
So I didn't understand, was Slugworth, is he not a real person at all? Or was it just because it was the Wonka employee who was pretending to be Slugworth?
Right.
But is there an actual Slugworth, or is the whole thing a sham?
There's been so many, after, conspiracy theories once that movie came out, who is Slugworth and stuff like that. I just think he's just an employee. He was just I don't think there's too much into it, but you know how people get with their conspiracy theories and stuff like that. There's a movie with I forget the actor's name, the one who played Captain America. I feel so lost now.
Chris Evans?
Yes, Snowpiercer.
That's a great movie.
There's some weird conspiracy theory I've read online that's the sequel, or the way, the future of what happens after Charlie takes over the factory.
Oh, you know what? It kind of reminds me of that.
There's so many different videos of it I've seen on YouTube. It was a long rabbit hole, I tell you, for that one. of how those two movies are connected. Not the new Willy Wonka, the old one, and then Snowpiercer with Chris Evans.
You know, the last thing I want to say about Wonka is the everlasting gobstopper has got to be one of the worst inventions because how do you make money on something people only need to buy once ever? Because the whole point of the everlasting and Slugworth was trying to steal it. You know, allegedly it turned out to be an inside job the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But like they came up with this incredible invention because it's a piece of candy or gum. I think it was gum. Was it gum that never loses flavor?
Something like that, yeah.
Which is ridiculous because so what are you going to price it as, like $100,000? Because people only need to buy one everlasting gobstopper. It's the worst invention ever. Like, how is Willy Wonka supposed to make money when every person is only going to need to ever buy one? Like, you should make it so the flavor lasts for like a week, because then that's really impressive. Like, oh my God, I've never had a piece of candy before that doesn't run out of flavor for an entire week, and then a week later you buy another one, and the cycle continues. Instead, they created, I think it was gum that never loses flavor, and it's one of the worst. How do you make money on that? That's not capitalism. We'll wrap up the 4 o'clock hour when we come back, and remember, we're going to talk at 5 o'clock with Javier Molina, professional welterweight boxer who's going to be fighting May 1st. We're going to talk to him a little bit later. Hey, Saturdays from 1 to 3 p.m., baseball fans can go deep into the count with Alex Aguirre and Christian Chase. Catch the show that talks Marlins and all the big stories in the major leagues. Every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m., Seamheads have a new home. Listen to Deep Into the Count exclusively at OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
It's time to rack it up. Oh my God! Here's Ira Winderman and Ethan Skolnick with the Pallet Rack City Inside.
Hey Panthers fans, Dave Dwork here with some awesome news. Every Saturday, I'm going to bring you the latest on everything to do with the Florida Panthers with Chirping the Cats Radio. Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., we'll dive into the state of the team, recap games, and hear from past and present Panthers players, and plenty of other great hockey guests too. Got questions about the Panthers? Call or text the show and we'll break it down. Don't miss Chirping the Cats Radio, Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., only on OnSideRadio.com.
You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
The sport is headed in a direction where it's going to die because the fan base is dying. It's people my age or older that follow baseball, and we're dying. And so they're not getting any of the new fans. Young fans, the whole sport is all screwed up, dude. From the cheating scandals to the way they mismanage it, by the way. The way it has not gone and changed with modern times. The fact that baseball players are so freaking ignorant that they don't understand that they've got to market their own game. The wussiest thing in the world is you hit a home run on me, so now I'm going to plunk you. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
The Onside Zone with Big O. Weekdays 11 to 1 p.m. Only on OnSideRadio.com. You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world.
Can I get a captain?
Captain and what?
Captain and Ginger.
I can hear you.
Captain and Ginger.
He was a captain and Ginger. Captain and Ginger. He was a captain and Ginger.
Captain Morgan, official partner of Major League Soccer.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
I just knew our guy NorCal would have an opinion on the everlasting gobstopper. He says, it's not about money, bro. Everlasting gobstopper is great. I'll buy the gobstopper holder for my nightstand. He says, there's money to be made on the gobstopper accessories. Oh, you know what? That's right. Once the gobstopper comes out, even though you only ever have to buy one of them your entire life, you start buying the T-shirts. You start buying all the merch. You buy the hats. You buy the holder for your nightstand. That's what it is. It's a money pit.
Your gobstopper holder sounds like what old people will use for their dentures at night.
Oh,
they leave
that's
their
so true.
dentures.
Dude, I remember when I was like 5 and I accidentally discovered my my nonno's dentures, and it was like scarring because I was like in his bathroom, and like I just saw like a case like next to the sink, and I open it up and there's teeth in there, and it was like I don't understand. I'm like, I don't know, maybe I was 6, whatever I was. I didn't understand the concept of dentures, and when I saw it, like freaked out. It was crazy. I was scarred for life. Yeah, I got to tell you, after watching the Miami spring game this past Saturday, Nick Saban better hope De'Aaron King is healthy for the September 4th opener. Alabama better be hoping De'Aaron King's rehab is going well. Because if you have to go up against Jake Garcia, you're taking those L's, my friends. Bama is taking that L. Oh, my God, Jake Garcia, he looked really good. I still want that guy to redshirt for a year because, you know, if De'Aaron King really is good to go, he's going to do a solid job at Miami this season. So, you know, let Garcia redshirt and then, you know, be technically a freshman again, you know, a year and 3 months from now when he starts the 2022 season. But Miami's in a good spot because, you know, Tyler Van Dyke didn't look as good in the spring game, but he had a really good spring. You know, Jake Garcia had a fantastic spring game. The way he climbed in the pocket, his accuracy was on point. He had really good touch on his deep ball, really good command of the huddle and in the pocket. I know it's a spring game. You take it with a grain of salt. But I thought he looked really good. And, you know, Ja'Curry Brown is coming in as a recruit next year. So, finally, the future of the quarterback position looks really good at Miami. And the Hurricanes, I want to talk a little bit more about this later in the 5 o'clock hour. According to the William Hill Sportsbook, the Hurricanes are plus 5,000 to win the national championship this coming year. So a $100 bet would win you $5,000 if the Canes win the title. I'm going to put like $10,000 on that. We'll all be rich. But Miami actually has the 12th best odds at winning the championship. So that's some respect there. 12th best odds to win the title. So Vegas is not sleeping on the Canes. We're going to talk some boxing with welterweight fighter, former U.S. Olympian, professional prize fighter who is going to be on the pay-per-view undercard on May 1st. Javier Molina, who will fight Jesus Ramos in a little over a week. He is going to join us next here on Onside Radio. Hey, Onside Radio understands gaming is a big part of the sports landscape. That's why every day we keep you updated with some of the latest gaming news with Onside Radio's E-Minute, hosted by Toast, Kai, and Michael Christian. If you miss it, it's podcasted daily. Search Onside Radio on all platforms. Subscribe, rate, and review. OnsideRadio.com, the station gamers call home.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the Radio.net app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
Hey everybody, it's Good Greek Moving and Storage, and for over 2 decades, they've been entrusted to handle all of your moving and storage needs. And now, Good Greek is the official mover of Inter Miami CF. And if Inter Miami trusts the Good Greek, you should too. For the best move ever, whether it's across town or across the country, go to GreekMoving.com. That's GreekMoving.com for Good Greek Moving and Storage, the official movers of your Inter Miami CF.
Miami Dolphins fans can always count on the best coverage at OnsideRadio.com. Every week, keep up with your favorite team as Dolphins writer Omar Kelly joins us with exclusive reports. And when news breaks, catch the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins report on the home for Dolphins fans everywhere, OnsideRadio.com. You're listening to the flagship station of Inter Miami CF, OnsideRadio.com. Follow us on social media at Onside Radio. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
5 o'clock hour of Man of the Match with Alex Donno, taking you up until 6 o'clock here tonight. Very excited to talk some boxing with an absolute pro. Javier Molina joins us. He's going to be on the pay-per-view undercard of the Ruiz-Areola fight on May 1st. He's taking on another really nice dude that we've had on the show before. So I'm going to have trouble deciding who to root for because I really like Javier, and his opponent, Jesus Ramos, is a good guy as well. Javier Molina, welcome to the show, man. How's your afternoon going?
It's going good. I just finished the gym, just getting some rest right now.
Awesome. So, how do you get, we're still about a week and a half away from the fight. Once we get, right up to fight day, do you get a little tense? Do you get any butterflies? Or you've been doing this for so long, does it just feel like business as usual?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this my whole life. As a pro, I've been a pro since I was 19. I'm 31 now. I started fighting when I was 7, 8 years old. So, I mean, there's always little butterflies, but, I mean, I feel like it's normal to me now.
And you have a pretty incredible story because you had an illustrious career as an amateur as well. You got a chance to represent the USA in the 2008 Beijing Olympics. But tell us what you went through because you had a really serious injury at that time, right? That had to be really a trying time for you.
Yeah, you're talking about during the Olympics?
Yeah.
I was the youngest member on the 2008 Olympic team. I was 18 years old. But during that time, I remember in the opening ceremony, I started feeling like when I would push my throat and my chest, like little crackling sounds, and I didn't know what it was. And I had gone for like a little run with Demetrius Andrade, and I just felt the pain, so I went to go get checked out. And I had strep throat, and then they did an X-ray, and I had air leaking out through my lungs.
Oh.
So they had told me already that I wasn't gonna be able to fight, and my fight was the next day. So I was already like, I'm like, man, everything I went through for this to happen. And then my family was flying out. They didn't even know they were flying out. They didn't get there till later on. And then finally I went the next day. I just waited. They let me weigh in, and I didn't think I was gonna fight till later. They told me, hey, you know what? We're gonna let you go. We're gonna let you fight. So I was like, hell yeah. But I felt like everything went by so fast. Like I got my stuff. I went to the fight and I lost. And I was like, man, what the hell is this? And I was just like, but I mean, it was just. I think I would have rather wanted to be like that, like me fight even if I lost, than just not even attempt it. Cause I was like, man, I worked so hard to make the Olympic team, and for me just not to fight. But I mean, it was crazy. I've never felt that before. Like I just felt like I couldn't breathe. I would push my chest or my throat, and you can hear like crackling sounds. And I was like, what the hell is that? But it was pretty crazy.
Dude, and that's pretty incredible toughness for somebody to tell you that there's air leaking into your lung, and you still go through with the fight. Like that's incredible toughness, man. And just what was that? The whole experience. I mean, outside of what you went through with the illness, just the whole experience of representing your country. That had to feel incredible.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. I mean, just staying in the Olympic Village alone, like everything was free. The USA had their athletes stayed in one building, and every country had the building where everybody stayed at. You just walk around, see all the elite athletes around the world, and everything's free. You had free McDonald's, free Snickers, free Powerade. So after I lost, I took advantage of that. I had my backpack. I put all the Snickers in my backpack, the Powerades, the chicken tenders, and I went outside and gave it to my family. But it was an experience that I'm never gonna forget. And then even walking out the opening ceremony, I walked out with Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, with all of them. I mean, it was just a crazy, crazy moment. And we walked out in the Bird's Nest Stadium, so everything was filled up. And it's just being around everybody, all the Olympians around the whole world, it was amazing.
That is really, really awesome. We're joined here by Javier Molina, who joins us on Onside Radio. And, you mentioned you come from a fighting family. Your father fought. I think you have siblings who fight. So did you know pretty much all your life that you wanted to be a competitive boxer?
Yeah, I mean, my older brother, Carlos Molina, and he fight. Well, he used to fight. And then so I have a twin brother also, and he was on the 2012 Olympic boxing team. For Mexico, he went, but since we were like 5-6 years old, we would always go to the gym with my older brother, and I had another cousin that used to box, and they would just throw me and my twin brother in there just for entertainment. We were 5-6 years old, we didn't know what we were doing. We just started throwing at each other, and everybody would just be laughing. But not till we were like 7-8 years old, that's when we really started taking serious, and then started competing. But at such a young age, I won my first national title when I was 11 years old, and I just fell in love with the sport. I love competing. I loved the feeling I felt when I was up there. There was always butterflies, but it's just something that I always loved doing.
Yeah, and of course, you mentioned your brother fought for Mexico. You're Mexican-American, and, dude, I mean, the Mexican fighting spirit is so incredible. I mean, I look at your record, and, yeah, you've lost 3 times, but you've only ever lost by decision. You have never been stopped before. We know how tough you are because of what you fought through in the Olympics. So, I mean, you must take a lot of pride in that, right? The whole Mexican fighting spirit, because it really is legit.
Oh, yeah. That's one thing I always have. I always had a lot of pride. Even that's why I feel like even with my last defeat, I felt like, man, I took that hurt me a little more, like losing the way I did. I was like, man, that's the one of the fights I feel like I want to get back against Pedraza. I feel like, obviously I would need like 2-3 more good wins in order for me to try to get him again. But I mean, every time I go in there, I always compete to win, and that's how I grew up. I mean, since I was a little kid, I've always just been in there just to win and never go in there just to do it. I mean, this is a sport I love, and I always give it my all.
And I think your fight with Ramos, it's going to be a showstopper. I think it's going to be a really incredible fight. What are you expecting? What do you see in Ramos? What do you think he's going to throw at you? How do you expect the fight might play out?
Yeah, I mean, we've been working a lot of different things. We know he's a power puncher. He's gone he's 15-0 with 14 knockouts.
Yep.
So we know he likes to come forward. He's a little tactical. He likes to change up the speed on his punches, but I feel like whatever he wants to do, we're ready for it. I've been working a lot of things. We can work inside if he wants to work inside. We can work on the outside, but I think it's going to be a great fight with a lot of action. So I mean, I feel like we're going to put on a show.
And I know you're ready for those body shots because I remember watching his last fight and he was really good at that. But I know you're going to be ready for that. So I just want to give you that warning, man, because I know you're going to come out firing and counter that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we've been watching him. We know he likes to throw a lot of body shots. He comes a lot from the outside, but like I said, we've been working a lot of things. We feel like there's a lot of mistakes we can take advantage of, and I feel like that's what we're going to do.
How different has it been? I mean, you fought in September of last year in a bubble in Vegas, so you've been through all the protocols and stuff. Now I'm hoping we're going to be on our way out of this pretty soon with all the vaccines and stuff, and society's going to get back to normal. But how different has it been for this fight coming up and your last fight, having to go through all the COVID-19 protocols and everything? How does that change your preparation on fight week?
It doesn't change much. The main difference is just we've been having to do a COVID test every week, and now it's getting closer to having us do 2 times a week. But it's pretty fast. We do it on FaceTime, so it takes like 5 minutes. We do it, and then we get it done, and then that's it. We've been doing it Tuesdays and Thursdays. But besides that, I feel like everything's been pretty normal. We just been doing a lot of tests. I'm kind of getting tired of sticking that thing up my nose.
It's not fun,
man. Yeah, I know, but I mean, we gotta do what we have to do.
It's going to be a truly awesome fight on May 1st between Javier Molina and Jesus Ramos, and that's going to be really good pay-per-view on the undercard there for the Andy Ruiz-Chris Arreola fight. And I'm certainly I'm a traditionalist. Like I love to watch the best prize fighters going at it. There is a trend that's developing, and I'll admit I think these can be fun, but we're getting all these Triller pay-per-views lately, Javier, with these YouTube guys fighting these crossover stars. How do you feel about that? Like, do you feel like it's good for the sport to get more eyes on it, or are you worried it's turning into a bit too much of a circus?
Honestly, I feel like it's more they do it more for entertainment. I just seen yesterday. I think it was Jake Paul and Ben Askren are in the top 10 of boxing pay-per-view buys. I think they made they sold like 1.5 million. They had a 1.5 million buys. So I see why they do it. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, I don't think it's gonna mess. This sport has been alive for a long time. It's not gonna mess with it. But these guys are businessmen. They've been doing this YouTube stuff, and then as far as Ben Askren, I mean, this is his biggest payday. So I don't really want to knock them for doing that, and making their money. So at the end of the day, I mean, they got to make a living and support their family some way. I mean, these guys are making millions of dollars. But as far as the sport, I don't look at it like as a real boxing fight. But I think it's just more of entertainment.
Yeah, and I think you hit something important that you're talking about, people, whether it be the fighters or the people putting on the shows, like they're trying to make money, they're trying to take care of their families. Clearly there's a market for it. And you know what, man, obviously you're a very serious boxer, but if a point comes like later in your career where you get a chance to get in and beat up a YouTuber for a few rounds, I would watch that. I would support you if you could get a payday for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why not? I mean, we've been doing that so life, whatever. I mean, like you see a lot of some of these guys that go on and come out in some movies. Like we've seen Gabriel Rosado come out in that Creed one. We see like go out and make some money elsewhere. Like we can do our own sport, stay in our sport, and make some money, extra money somewhere, like fighting these YouTubers or whatever the case is. I mean, I don't see why not. But I really don't look at it like as a real boxing event. But I mean, it's entertainment. I don't really knock them for that.
Yeah, no, really well said, and I'm looking forward to the fight on May 1st. Let's give a huge thank you to Javier Molina for joining us. And obviously, I know it's a busy time. You're preparing for a big fight, so I can't thank you enough for taking some time to talk to us. Thank you so much, man, and best of luck to you on May 1st.
No, thank you guys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, really good stuff there. And yeah, Alex, did you hear that story that he told about the Olympics? I mean, dude, that's freaking incredible. I mean, first of all,
great story.
In the Olympics, like you're an amateur. You know, you're obviously you get taken care of at the Olympic Village. You get free room and board, and it's an incredible experience to be over there. You know, he was over there in Beijing for the Olympics he went to, but you find out on fight week you've got a little crackle, which when he said that, the way he described that, it reminded me of when about 8 years ago I had pneumonia, because that's what is a crackle. Like when you have pneumonia, it's like every time you breathe in and breathe out, you hear this like crackle in your lungs. And so he was diagnosed with strep throat, and his lung was leaking air, which does not sound remotely healthy to me. And he still fought, and he lost, unfortunately. But you can understand, because you're very compromised in a situation like that. But I hate to bring it back to this dude, but you hear a few weeks ago about our pal Victor Oladipo missing games for a head cold, and now he's missing games because his knee is allegedly sore, even though the X-rays show nothing, and the MRI shows no structural damage. Our guy Victor Oladipo can't play basketball because he's got an imaginary injury, and he had a head cold a few weeks ago. And Javier Molina, who wasn't even getting paid because this was the Olympics, fought with a leaky lung. That's a tough guy right there.
I go back to what Molina was talking about with his upbringing, and what you were talking about with the Mexican fighting spirit, especially in boxing.
Mexican they are the best to watch.
It's
oh my God,
tough-minded, hard-nosed, individuals, and especially in the sport of boxing, you want that type of nature within the fighter. And I'm not saying that Victor Oladipo does not have a hard-nosed spirit in terms of like getting what he wants in the sport that he plays. But you can definitely tell that, especially in boxers, they're just wired differently. They're supposed to withstand the pain. That's the part of the sport. I'm not saying that if you're hurt, you can just call it a day and not play. I don't want to risk anything if you're like a basketball player or a baseball player. But in boxing, you're kind of paid to do that in a way, to take the pain and fight through it. If you have a, Jorge Alfaro, the catcher for the Marlins, was pulled out of the game for left hamstring soreness. If Molina went to his trainer and say, "Hey, I'm not gonna, this fight coming up this weekekend, I'm not gonna do it. I got some left hamstring soreness. Take me out of the fight."
He'd be laughed at.
No, it's just everyone's wired differently, especially depending on the sport you play. But I completely admire an athlete who, toughs it out without risking, long-lasting injury, but kind of toughs it out and plays through it. It's, fans always rally around that type of athlete.
It's just it's a different breed. I mean, hockey players.
And it's another one.
Hockey players, UFC fighters, boxers, just they don't have the mentality of and part of it. I'm not going to say all NBA players are soft.
Right.
I'm not going to be that guy, but it's a different mentality because you're a professional prize fighter. Maybe at the very low levels, some of these guys fight like every few weeks. But at the high levels, you're only really fighting once every few months at most. So you're only doing it 3 or 4 times a year. You put in so much time into training. You take a lot of punishment in training. And, if God forbid you have to pull out of a fight injured, it may be months before you can take another fight. So it's a different mentality because a lot of people in that sport will say, I've been working this long counting on a payday for one night where, if you're at the very highest level, you're making 7 figures. You're not making 7 figures. You're probably making 6 figures to step in there. And you need to make sure you secure that payday because you not only need to take care of your family, but, a percentage of your payday goes to your trainers and your coaches and the people who cornered for you and prepared you for that fight. So, you go through all that preparation and you say, hey, unless I'm like in the hospital, I cannot pass this up because I've been working so hard for one night, one event, one payday. And yeah, it's different in the NBA because you're paid for an 82-game season, and if your body isn't feeling right one night, you may want to preserve it for the next night. So I understand the differences, but I still marvel at some of the pain that these guys are willing to fight through. And it's again like it's going to be hard to root for either guy. I'm probably going to end up rooting for Javier Molina because we spoke to him more recently, but we talked to Jesus Ramos a few months ago, and he was really, really nice. So it's like, I don't know who to root against, man. I don't know who to root for, who to root against. Maybe I'll hope for a draw or something, although a draw doesn't really help anybody, to be quite honest. 844-416-8123 is how you get in. That's 844-416-8123. Speaking of, battling through health conditions, an interesting NFL story I want to get to when we return. Hey, every Monday, Heat and NBA fans can catch the best hour of basketball talk when Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winterman host the Palette Rack City Inside the Paint Show. Listen to 2 of the most knowledgeable and connected reporters in the business. Get year-round insight every Monday from 10 to 11 a.m. with Inside the Paint on the home for hardcore basketball fans, OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can now watch Onside Radio daily by subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels. Search Onside Radio. Log on, subscribe, rate, and review Onside Radio on YouTube and Twitch. Find out why Big O has a face for radio. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's home for real sports talk. This Saturday, Inter Miami CF visits the Philadelphia Union at Subaru Park.
And now Higuain trying to bend his run in behind. Flag is temporarily stayed down. Higuain is in at the square with Robinson. No square. Robbie Robinson has opened the scoring. The flag is stayed down. And Inter Miami are off and running in 2021. They lead the LA Galaxy by a goal to nil.
Join OnSideRadio.com as we broadcast live from Dangerous Minds Brewing Company in Pompano. Our pregame broadcast watch party starts at 7 p.m. Game time is 8 p.m. Listen to all the games by going to our website at OnSideRadio.com and download any of our apps. Follow Inter Miami CF all year long on your home for football. OnSideRadio.com.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is, to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty to protect, to serve, to help. They put themselves in harm's way for us. They come to the rescue at times when we need them most. First responders are making enormous personal sacrifices to keep showing up for us and fighting the good fight. Nearly 70% of all firefighters are volunteers. That means when they get injured or quarantined, they may not have a way to pay their rent or keep their family safe and fed. No matter who you are or where you live, when you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today.
You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida's true hometown station. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. Check this out. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Take episode 6 o'clock tonight here on Onside Radio, Man of the Match with Alex Donno. Alex Aguirre is riding shotgun. Huge thanks to everyone who's joined us so far today. Alphonse Sidney, Alan Pupar, Javier Molina, who's got a big fight coming up on May 1st. I hope you guys all support him because it's going to be a really fun one against Jesus Ramos. I think that's going to be a barn burner. Was reading this update from Ian Rappaport this afternoon on Justin Fields. He tweeted, Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields has confirmed to NFL teams during the pre-draft process that he is managing epilepsy, a neurological disorder that can cause seizures, per me and Tom Pelissero. That's who the reports are coming from. It has not affected football, and doctors believe he'll outgrow it, as his other family members have. So it sounds like a family thing. I don't think I know anybody personally who has epilepsy, but I have heard enough about it that it's my understanding that it's something that these days can be managed pretty well with medication. I'm sure that all depends on how severe it is, but the sample size that I have on Justin Fields is you've never heard until this update anything about Justin Fields having epilepsy. You would have never known. Never had to miss a game for it. To my knowledge, has never had to miss a practice for it. It's, not taking away anything from his football career to this point. And it is encouraging to read the end of what Ian Rappaport wrote, that doctors believe he will outgrow it as his other family members have. So I guess it's something that maybe by the time you hit like your mid-20s, maybe you grow out of it. So I sincerely hope that this isn't one of the things that the NFL deep state has been holding against Justin Fields, because there's been this weird agenda that we've talked about for the last few weeks where all these leaks coming out from NFL GMs, and it was nothing about his health, but you had those reports that, we question his work ethic. Honestly, after what Ian Rappaport tweeted, this only makes me feel better about his work ethic. Like, if on top of him, fighting back from that injury, he suffered against Clemson, and, all of his coaches at Ohio State raving about his work ethic, I don't have any actual evidence of anyone questioning his work ethic outside of those bogus Fugazi reports that came out a few weeks ago which sound to me like those were reports trying to damage his draft prospects with an agenda, maybe an agenda from either agents of other quarterbacks who are trying to get their client drafted first, or it could be from teams that want to draft Justin Fields for themselves and want to make sure he falls to them. Either way, it's shady as hell. So on top of everything, if this young man has also been, managing and beating epilepsy, then that also tells me he's an even harder worker. And if this is something that doctors are expecting him to outgrow and he's already managing it, to me, that shouldn't hurt his stock whatsoever. And I hope NFL teams view it the same way because, even this report coming out, I hope this is not something that's trying to damage Justin Fields' stock, because to me, this guy, I think is at worst the third best quarterback in this draft and probably the second best quarterback in this draft. I will concede Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback in this draft, and we all know where he's going. He's going to Jacksonville. Sounds like Zach Wilson is going to the Jets. But if the Jets were to have a change of heart and draft Justin Fields, that might be the better move. If not, I hope Justin Fields gets taken third by San Francisco, because if San Francisco makes a dumbass move like passing on Justin Fields in favor of muffin top Mac Jones, that's going to be something I think they're going to regret. I think they're going to regret missing on an amazing quarterback prospect like Justin Fields to draft a guy with a spare tire. I don't think that's a good plan at all. This was something interesting. ESPN reporter Seth Wickersham spoke with Harrison Vapnik for an interview that was published on Monday. In the interview, Wickersham talked about the clash that was pretty well publicized a few years ago, but the clash between Bill Belichick and Tommy Brady that he infamously wrote about in 2017. Yeah, Wickersham was the one who wrote that huge article. You remember that big article about how Tom Brady's TB12 with that trainer of his, that it was like a cult and that it was upsetting Belichick and some of the teammates, and that Belichick wanted Jimmy Garoppolo to stay, but Brady wanted him traded, so Robert Kraft traded Jimmy Garoppolo to San Francisco. So there was that report, which, God, it's already been almost 4 years since that report came out about Belichick and Brady having a rift. So Wickersham dropped an interesting nugget in that interview recently. He said, after that season, with all that friction, Bill Belichick talked with the New York Giants, Washington, and the Miami Dolphins about coaching jobs. You may recall, he said, that the Giants hired Pat Shurmur, the Dolphins stuck with Adam Gase, huge mistake, and Washington kept Jay Gruden for 2018. The Giants and Dolphins eventually hired coaches off of Belichick's staff. Miami with Brian Flores, that's working out pretty nicely so far, and the Giants with Joe Judge. Belichick played a role in helping Judge get the Giants' job. Rumors about Belichick talking with those teams never emerged, so it's possible they were just consulting with him and not talking with him about leaving. But considering what was going on at the time, this is very interesting. So somewhere there's an alternate universe, because I believe in that stuff. Like, every time we make a decision, the decision we make, it all branches off into alternate universes where in some other universe we made a different choice. Like, there's a different road. So, there's like a million other me's having a similar conversation on the radio show, but instead I'm talking about like the Lingerie Football League or something in another dimension. But here I'm talking about the NFL. So in another universe somewhere, Bill Belichick is coaching the Miami Dolphins, and he's been doing so since 2018. That's compelling as hell. So, and obviously we're happy with what we got, okay? Because Brian Flores is doing a hell of a job. We had to endure a couple of extra years of loser Adam Gase. After Belichick supposedly consulted with the Dolphins, we had like 2 more years of Gase's bum ass here after that. But ultimately, we end up getting a really good one off of Belichick's coaching tree in Brian Flores. But let me ask the Dolphin fans, because I know a lot of Dolphin fans listen. If, in this alternate universe, Bill Belichick had decided to come down here to South Florida to coach the Dolphins, how would you ever have reacted? He's not a very well-liked figure in these parts. If Belichick took the coaching job, would you be doing somersaults because, oh my God, arguably the greatest coach in NFL history is coming down to coach my team? would you just say, you know what, winning is all that matters? I'm going to turn a blind eye to Spygate. I'm going to turn a blind eye to, Deflategate, although I don't know how much Belichick actually had to do with Deflategate, but he's got that cheating reputation, okay? And he's not very well liked down here. He's very smug. Dolphin fans hate the guy. If in some alternate universe, Bill Belichick 4 years ago or 3 years ago had been named Miami Dolphins head coach, how do you react? Like, do you start burning your Dolphins jerseys and protesting in front of the front office in Davie, like the way that people were reacting to European Super League for a couple of days? Do you lose your goddamn mind? Do you get angry? Do you take to social media to voice your displeasure? Or would you put all of that aside and say, hell, this guy's won so much. I think it was, probably 5 Super Bowl rings at the time, because this was coming off of 2017, so 5 or 6 rings by that point. Arguably the greatest to ever do it. Do you put those differences aside and say, you know what, I may have hated this guy's guts, but now he's mine. Like, now he's our head coach. I think that's the attitude I would have had. And you know what? I've been there, bro. I've been there. I don't know if Tony 2 times is still listening, but I've been there because we have Antonio Conte coaching Inter, who, used to be the Juventus captain when he played. And he coached Juventus to 3 Scudetti, 3 Italian titles. And then he came over to Inter. We've got Giuseppe Marotta, the CEO, used to be the Juventus sporting director. So I know what it's like to sell my soul to the devil. But all that matters is success on the field, right? I mean, that's the most important thing at the end of the day. You don't really care the individuals that are doing the winning. You just care about the winning happening, right? So I think that would have been my attitude. I mean, as a Dolphin fan, if Bill Belichick had, in 4 years ago in this alternate timeline from this Seth Wickersham report, if Belichick had ended up deciding to become the Miami Dolphins head coach, I would have embraced it. I would have, reluctantly, right? I mean, I would have said, oh, does it have to be him? But I think ultimately, I would have embraced him. Ray says, the Bizarro Belichick. Seinfeld reference, also a Superman reference, because I think that's where Jerry Seinfeld would always reference Superman. The Bizarro World. That Seinfeld episode freaked me out a little bit. Yeah, where Elaine, that was a great episode because Elaine decided she didn't want to spend time with Jerry, Kramer, and George anymore, but she found another Jerry, Kramer, and George, different dudes with very similar but opposite personas. That was a really cool episode of Seinfeld, actually. Tony says, hey, if that happened with Belichick, I'm doing cartwheels. Miami has hired nothing but first-time head coaches for almost 2 decades now. Someone with a successful pedigree would be a nice change for once. Yeah, that's a good point. You think about that. Going back 20 years, Wannstedt was not a first-time head coach. He had coached the Chicago Bears. He got fired there, but he actually did win a Coach of the Year in Chicago a few years prior. So Wannstedt was not a first-time head coach. Who came after that? Saban. Saban was a first-time NFL coach. Cam Cameron, first-time NFL coach. Tony Sperano, may he rest in peace, first-time NFL head coach. Joe Philbin, first-time NFL head coach. Adam Gase, first-time NFL head coach. Brian Flores, first-time NFL head coach. Wow, I know I knew that, but I hadn't actually done that mental exercise before. That is pretty wild. That not since, because Wannstedt, I think, was hired in the year 2000. In the year 2000 was when Wannstedt was hired. So not in 21 years have the Dolphins actually hired an NFL head coach with NFL head coaching experience. That's interesting. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. I think they got it right with Brian Flores. They did. They've gotten it wrong a lot of times before. Unpopular opinion, but, Nick Saban wasn't necessarily doing that terribly. He didn't get fired. He left. I don't know how sustainable Saban was because he treated grown men, millionaire grown men, like they were college kids, and that may have eventually really blown up in his face. But you can't say for sure that Saban was a failure because he, barely got into his project and he left to take a giant pile of cash to coach Alabama. But yeah, the Dolphins, not since Wannstedt have they hired a head coach with NFL head coaching experience. It's interesting. Tony writes in, they changed coaches in soccer so much that I was happy to have Antonio Conte at Inter Milan. Anyone who has success is okay in my books. Yeah, what are the sports that change head coaches the most? I think soccer is probably right up there. Hockey is not that far off either. But I think soccer is probably where you see the most, like if you're a soccer fan and you change coaches mid-season, it's like not even surprising. And sometimes really good teams will just change coaches because they feel like it. Like you could be sometimes your team is in first place, you just decide, we're gonna sack the manager this week and bring in a new one. It happens really often in that sport. It's crazy, and college football, the NFL, it's a big event when your coach gets fired. I mean, how the hell did Adam Gase spend 2 full seasons coaching the New York Jets, 3 full seasons coaching Miami? I mean, he bought himself the second-year Gase because he went to the playoffs the first year here, but how he got the third year here is beyond me, and how he got the second year with the Jets is beyond me. Didn't Hugh Jackson survive an 0-16 season? He didn't get fired right after that, I don't think. It's crazy. So it's totally different in the NFL. In soccer, big clubs will change coaches like you and I change our socks. It's crazy. So yeah, imagine that. You know what? I think it's pretty unanimous on in the YouTube chat. Let me see if anybody's texting about it, but it seems pretty unanimous that our fans would have tolerated Bill Belichick had he decided to come coach here in 2017. Oh, I want to welcome in on the text line our very good friend from social media, Gina. Love your show. I listen to you every day. Thank you so much. Great to have a station with the variety of sports talk that you guys have, and also all the Canes fam that work there. All the best. Thank you so much, Gina. So I love Gina and Marla are listening. Kenneth Cleveland is on board. He says, good afternoon, Donno. Kenneth Cleveland is live from the Boom Boom Room. The lovely ladies, Hallie, Selma, Sophia, Paige, Charlize, and Beyonce were all at the UM spring game. The Metro Boy, and we were tailgating. What does that mean, the Metro Boy? I don't know. Who is he talking about? Tito? I don't know. We were all tailgating Saturday at Hard Rock Stadium. That's awesome. Oh man, I loved. I'm such a geek that not only did I watch the whole spring game on Saturday, I watched 2 separate condensed games on YouTube since then. And oh, by the way, I would recommend you guys, if you have a way to access podcasting platforms, and I hope you do because it's really easy. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Just today, we put out, Larry Bluestein and I, our latest episode of 5 Rings Canes on the 5 Reasons Sports Network, where we reviewed the spring game, spring practices, and Blue gave me the amazing recruiting nuggets that only Larry Bluestein can. So that is available today. That episode, the new episode of 5 Rings Canes, is available on all the podcasting platforms, as is every segment from this show. If you miss any part of Man of the Match here on Onside Radio, Marla says, could my name be listed in conjunction with the Boom Boom Room, Donno? Kenneth, can we put Marla in the Boom Boom Room? Oh, man, that's awesome. We're taking applications now for the Boom Boom Room. Oh, I'm trying to think who else should be invited to that. What about Margot Robbie? I like her. She's in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She's in a lot of movies. But what's your take, Alex? I don't know if I've asked you this. What's your take on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Have you seen it? That's like an inkblot test because people either hate it or love it.
I like it.
I loved it.
I think it's good. It's not Tarantino's best, but it's not his worst either. I think the thing is that he has no bad movies.
No, none.
So it's hard.
I didn't love Hateful Eight, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, they're not amazing, maybe like Django Unchained or something like that. Mm-hmm. But he everything he touches so far has been entertaining in my eyes. So it's a lot of dialogue, but which I like because I think he was just trying to create Hollywood in that era. And I think he did a really good job of that.
And he went against his formula a little bit because from Tarantino, people kind of expect the last 15 minutes of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood to be the way the entire movie is.
Right.
You know, with with all, all the over-the-top violence. Like
And
that's
the gore.
Right. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of what people expect the whole movie's going to be like, because Django Unchained was pretty much like that for
Very
the whole
graphic,
movie,
yeah.
right? So I think that's what a lot of people were probably, and Kill Bill was like,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
Kill Bill was crazy.
Let's just get all the red paint we can find and
Yeah.
just splatter everywhere and see what happens.
Oh my God! So I think that's what a lot of people come to expect from a Tarantino movie. It was very dialogue heavy, but
I like the outfits. I like the costumes. I like the dialogue. I like the cameos with Al Pacino in as well. Like,
and you had the perfect actors to carry it
Mhm,
because
yeah.
you can't do that movie with just anybody.
No.
But when you have DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, you can make that movie.
It's
because,
magic.
Like I wanted to hang out with them. Like I wanted to
Yeah.
to like go to the bar and hang out with Cliff Booth and Rick Dalton. Like I
good
wanted to
memory.
hang out. Yeah, I've watched the movie like 3 times. So I have
Nice.
a good memory on it. Like I wanted to hang out with those guys.
I
It
wanted
was
to
so
hang out
good.
with them when like they were watching DiCaprio's character, his reruns on TV or whatever, or his new episode he just came out in Bounty Law or whatever, and they're just hanging out watching, drinking beers at his house watching the show, and they look super like just the
Yeah.
boys hanging out.
Yeah, I love the meme where DiCaprio is like pointing at the screen.
Yes.
Like,
Look, there I am. There I am.
Such a great meme. Oh my God. 844-416-8123 is how you get in. That's 844-416-8123 here on Onside Radio. Ray says, great ending on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You know there was gonna be gore in the fight at the end. Absolutely. Let me see. Donno, please ask Aguirre if he's buying MLB The Show 21. Are you buying the game MLB The Show?
I always buy the latest version of MLB The Show. The thing is that I wait a little bit, especially now since the PS5 came out. So like I'm in no hurry to get the new MLB The Show. I'm satisfied with this one compared to NBA 2K. I can't wait when the new 2K comes out because I'm sick and tired.
2K is awesome.
I love NBA 2K, but the newest 2K was horrific.
Really? I haven't
Yes.
played it in a few years.
It's
actually.
it's bad. It's bad in terms of like the shooting style. So I can't wait when the new one comes out. I've never really been disappointed with MLB The Show, but which is why I don't like waiting maybe a month or two when the price drops a little bit. But I'm definitely getting it.
Yeah. I haven't played MLB The Show in forever. 2K I like. I haven't played it in a few years. I fell out of love with Madden. I was always a bigger NCAA fan. Like when they used to make those games, I would buy NCAA every year. I would not necessarily buy Madden every year. I really enjoy FIFA. I buy FIFA every year, but I fully admit it's no longer what it used to be. Like up until 2016, maybe FIFA was always great. They'd make improvements every year. They really haven't made any improvements in like 5 years on that game. In fact, I think it's only gotten worse, FIFA. I mean, some of the details on the faces have gotten a little bit better because there used to be a lot. Like it would be so goddamn annoying when you're playing with a team and like half of the faces were just generic and like they didn't like actually detail the faces to look like the real players. They do a little bit better with that now. I still play it on PS4, so I don't know. The PS5 might just be magic. I have no clue. Do you have a PS5, Alex? Are you on next gen or are you still in the old ones with me?
I am running my PS4 to the ground. I am waiting. I'm just waiting. I don't mind. Like my PS4 hasn't given me any problems. It's just old, but like
I think mine has slowed down a bit. I'm kind of worried. I'm a little worried about
like
it.
mine slowed down a bit, but like I use an external hard drive as well, so it doesn't overwork the.
Oh, I should do that.
Yeah, it holds a terabyte, so you can I've had that for years now, and I'm not even halfway done filling that up. So, that helps with the system as well. But yeah, I'm in no hurry to get the PS5. It's fine by me. But I can see myself getting it for sure, but not anytime soon.
I'm waiting for that price to go down for
Same.
sure.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to continue. We're with you till 6 o'clock here on Onside Radio. I have, by the way, the Vegas odds for NFL win totals. Where do they rank the Miami Dolphins? We'll talk about that next when we come back here on Onside Radio. Hey, every day on Onside Radio, our hosts sit down at the round table to tackle the most important local or national sports headlines. The round table is podcasted daily, so search Onside Radio on all platforms, subscribe, rate, and review to listen to all kinds of station segments. OnsideRadio.com is the home for South Florida sports.
The man of the match with South Florida's own Alex Donno. Weekdays 1 to 5 p.m. on the home for Inter Miami football. OnsideRadio.com.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
Wasn't there another boy band like 98 Degrees or 99
American
Degrees?
pop and R&B vocal group consisting of 4 vocalists.
It is
Jeff Timmons, brothers Nick and Drew Lachey, and Justin. Yeah, Nick Lachey, that's right.
Nick Lachey. So it was 98 Degrees, right? There you go. How about that? Did you know I was the boy band expert, by the way?
Onside Zone with a Big O from 12 noon to 3 p.m. every weekday on OnSideRadio.com. You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnSideRadio.com sports update.
The Florida Panthers beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 5-1 last night. Spencer Knight picked up his first NHL win, stopping 33 Blue Jacket shots. Next game is at home versus the Carolina Hurricanes on Thursday. Puck drops at 7 p.m. The Miami Marlins closed out their series against the Baltimore Orioles with a win today, 3-0 behind 7 strong innings of shutout baseball from Trevor Rogers, striking out 8 and only walking 1. The Marlins are back in action tomorrow for a 4-game series against the San Francisco Giants at San Francisco. First pitch for Game 1 is at 9:45. The Miami Heat are back on the court tonight to take on DeMar DeRozan and the San Antonio Spurs. Tip-off is at 8:30. With your on-site sports update, I'm Alex Aguirre, and coming up, it's more of Man of the Match with Alex Donno right here at OnSideRadio.com.
You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
So if I go by the Las Vegas over-unders, the win totals, they're expecting the AFC East to be really competitive, at least the top 3. Really competitive. So they've got the Buffalo Bills at over-under 10.5 wins. They won 13 last year. They opened last season at 8.5, so they smashed that expectation by winning 13. If you had to guess, Alex, knowing that they have the Buffalo Bills at over under 10.5, where do you think they put the Miami Dolphins over under?
For the Buffalo Bills, what did you say they had?
10.5 is their
for wins
projection. Yeah, for next year. Yeah, 10.5. So over under 10.5.
Well, then the Dolphins should be right there with them.
Close.
Yeah. Okay. Like how? Like what? Like 9.5?
Yep, 9.5. Bingo. Okay. Bingo. Dolphins and Patriots 9.5.
Patriots too.
Yeah. So they're
close.
They're expecting the AFC East to be very close with the top three. Bills at 10.5. Patriots 9.5, Dolphins 9.5. So they are really expecting a lot of competition there. I think they're even being a little bit generous with the New York Jets. They've got their over/under at 6, which is actually better than the Dolphins opening last year. Last year the Dolphins had open at 5.5. They got the Jets opening at 6. I'd probably go under with the Jets. I'd go over with the Bills. God, it's with the Patriots. I think I'd go under. I think 8 or 9 wins for them. I'd go under 9.5. With the Dolphins, it's tough. We're going to see the full schedule is going to come out May 12th. I'm going to sound like a homer, but I lean to the over. 9.5 over under. I think the Dolphins are going to win 10 games again, if not 11. I'm going to go over for the Dolphins. I go under for the Pats. I go over 10.5 for the Bills. I think the Bills are going to win 11, 12 games. No reason why they wouldn't. Well, I guess except if the division is more competitive, maybe they're thinking that's going to cost the Bills a win or two. But no, I think the Bills will win 11, 12 games. I think the Dolphins will win 10. I think the Patriots win under 9.5. And the Jets probably win under 6. I think they're going to win 4 or 5 games next year. So that's the way that I see it. We're going to wrap up on the other side with a Deshaun Watson update. I feel like we have to have one of those at least every day. Want to welcome a new sponsor to the program. If you're looking for a change from the same old everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. I love this place, guys. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and yes, lots and lots of German beer. And with daily specials, there is something for everyone, my friends. If you're up for a challenge, take their famous boot tour, Das Boot. Finish 30 boots of different varieties of German beer, and you will receive half price on their beer for the rest of your life. And then you'll get a chance to take home your own boot and a Checkers Old Munchin t-shirt as well. They also have outdoor seating available. I know that matters to a lot of folks. If you're not ready to eat inside yet, they have you covered. They have outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music as well as a carry-out, curbside pickup, and delivery even. That's great. So for the finest German food and beer, get on over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant or call them for reservations, 954-785-7576. That's 954-785-7576. And I love, I've been friends with the guys at Checkers for forever, it feels like. Matt, the owner at Checkers Old Munchin, he is a huge Canes fan, a huge Florida Panthers fan, and he's a big soccer fan. You know, we clash a little bit because he loves the Bundesliga. I love the Serie A, so we always get along. It's great. So we will see you at Zagat Rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach.
This Saturday, Inter Miami CF visits the Philadelphia Union at Subaru Park.
And now Higuain trying to bend his run in behind. Flag is temporarily stayed down. Higuain is in. Has to square with Robinson. He'll square. Robbie Robinson has opened the scoring. The flag is stayed down. And Inter Miami are off and running in 2021. They lead the LA Galaxy by a goal to nil.
Join OnSideRadio.com as we broadcast live from Dangerous Minds Brewing Company in Pompano. Our pregame broadcast watch party starts at 7 p.m. Game time is 8 p.m. Listen to all the games by going to our website at OnSideRadio.com and download any of our apps. Follow Inter Miami CF all year long on your home for football. OnSideRadio.com.
Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com, broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
You know, lost in all the Deshaun Watson allegations is the fact that he's got a girlfriend, and apparently she's stuck with him. His girlfriend, Jilly Anais, I hope I'm saying that correctly. I've never heard of her, but apparently she's a model and a singer. And she sent a strong statement about the couple's relationship status this week, implying to her near 3 million Instagram followers that she's sticking by Watson's side through the legal situation. In a series of new photos from a weekend getaway with friends, she is pictured raising 2 middle fingers and a mean mug to the camera. Meanwhile, in the same photo, the Houston Texans quarterback, also in the picture, looked away from the camera as he hugged his girlfriend from behind while on a jet ski. You know, can you imagine, like, every dude wants to find a girlfriend as understanding as this one? Because you got to think about this. Even if, like, okay, she clearly fully believes that he's innocent of sexual assault. And obviously, I don't know whether he's innocent or guilty. She fully believes he's innocent. He's been accused of sexual assault by 22 different women. So, you know, you can say, I'm sure, that it's admirable that, you know, his girlfriend is standing by him through this tough time. But, like, even if she fully believes he's innocent of sexual assault, she's now come to find out that he had sex with, you know, even if it was consensual, he had sex with multiple masseuses. So are they in an open relationship? Like, she's very understanding because, okay, you know, at worst, he's a criminal. At best, he's a serial cheater. So she is very understanding. Like, do you think she gets a hall pass now to like get some like dudes to come in and, you know, for a little happy ending massage? Like, is that how this works? Quid pro quo, doctor? I didn't know if Alex wanted to say something.
Oh no, my thoughts on this though were, that I'm shocked. How can you stay with somebody?
It's no, dude. My wife would kill me.
Yeah, how can
like
you stay with somebody like that?
She would murder me. I'd be dead. Like
even
if I didn't commit rape, if she found out I've got a bunch of women coming in and having sex with me on the massage table, it's over. She is cutting my manhood off.
Of course, like. Even okay, let's say I'm not saying that this happened, but let's say none of it's true about Deshaun Watson. Even though like all this news, all this storm of a mess occurred, I wouldn't want to stay with that person. Even at the end of the day, none of it's still true. Whatever, it's like hot. Like still no, that's the type of attention I don't want to be around. That's toxic.
Right, and again, like even if she fully believes he did not commit the crimes he's accused of, it's been confirmed he had sex with multiple massage therapists.
So even more reason to leave the guy or whoever
wild.
did it. You know, like it's just, yeah, those type of people you don't want to be around, man. But like then again, toxic attracts toxic. So maybe she's just as bad.
Maybe they're swingers or something. We
Who
don't
knows?
know. Maybe they've got maybe she was in the room for some of these things. Maybe they've got like a weird open relationship. I have no idea.
That's so weird for them.
It's so weird. That's gonna wrap it up for us today. Huge thanks to Javier Molina, Alphonse Sidney, and Alan Poupard for joining us. Big shout out to Tito Bonacci and Alex Aguirre here for doing an awesome job. We will talk to you guys again tomorrow, 3 to 6 p.m. right here on the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. We are OnsideRadio.com.
You're listening to the flagship station of Inter Miami CF, OnsideRadio.com. Follow us on social media at Onside Radio.
Hey, It's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at